It has happened in Vegas. The Cup's going to stay in Vegas. And for the first time, the Golden Knights are Stanley Cup champions.
That's what I'm here for.
No, we're actually here for the Bread Loves Hockey podcast. Oh, we're definitely going to keep that segue in. It's episode 15. Thanks for joining us, Owen and Dean, for still sticking around with us.
Happy to be here.
While he's still unpaid.
Yeah, right. Appearance number 5, I think, for me.
Yeah,
4?
You're leading the pack from the non-permanent position.
So the semi-permanent, the part-time workers.
Yeah, you're part-time.
I appreciate it. Happy to be back.
Well, thank you. I'd also like to point out before we get too involved, I do have a sweater underneath the jersey. I don't care how stupid it looks. It's really cold in here, so we're just gonna tuck that away a little bit. And
it's sweater weather.
Now I'm Crosby. You can't even really tell the difference, can you?
A spitting image.
Yeah, thanks. What are we talking about today?
Well, our team's finally lost. We're not going 82-0, neither of us. Well, Owen's team
none of the three of us. We're not going 82-0.
Bummer.
4-4.
So, we're recording this on Wednesday, the 1st of November. So all of our teams have made it through the first month. And Dean and I fared pretty well. Only one extra time loss for each of us. Vegas is 9-0-1. Yeah, 9-0-1. Or are they 10?
9.
I think they're 9. Yeah, and then 8 for the Bruins. Yeah, because they played 10 games. So, pretty good. Obviously, pretty happy about that.
Both lost to crappy teams.
Leading the league right now is Vegas, and Boston is right on their tail. And then there's the Senators. Owen, if you wouldn't
Not
mind.
directly next, though. If we want to be truthfully accurate,
Yeah.
There's a few teams in the middle.
Only 18 more below.
Oh, that's right. Great start, hot start. 3-1 in our first 4. Then went on a 3-game losing streak. Happens. Then we won another game. In the middle of that, we have lost 3 right-hand defensemen.
Yeah.
Over the course of those 3 games, we got a player fined or suspended for 41 games, and we got a draft pick rescinded from the league. And we lost our GM. So it's been an eventful start to the season.
Yeah.
Just like the Ottawa Senators love it.
Fun time if you're a Sens fan, right, Owen?
Exciting time. The pulse is always up.
And on the bright side, you are not the San Jose Sharks, who are winless, although there are definitely certain factions of the Sharks fans that are very appreciative of all the hard-fought losses. The grit is there, but they don't get any closer to moving their draft pick up on the leaderboard. So, well, I guess down on the leaderboard. You want to go up.
Macklin Celebrini is waiting for somebody, probably San Jose, if things happen like they should. But in reality, it'll go to Montreal or some bullshit because the league sends players where they want. But it would be fun to see a star go to San Jose. That'd be neat.
Yeah, it would have been cool if Bedard went to Columbus, but whatever.
Absolutely insane. But also sick for Fantilli. He wanted to. There's a bunch of Michigan guys there. I still like Fantilli. I don't know if he's going to be better than Bedard, how they're going to fare out in their careers. It's hard to look that far in the future. Fantilli is really good and is already, I think, proving that this year he's going to figure it out. Sure, there'll be growing pains, but that Columbus team, not right now, but at some point, I think they're going to be pretty good.
I think Fantilli needs more media attention.
I would agree.
He's definitely been getting it to a degree, but it's definitely not at the same level.
Nowhere near the same.
I mean, he was number 3 overall, number 2 going to Carlson, I was actually really happy by that because I did want Fantilli to go to Columbus, if Bedard wasn't gonna go there.
Right.
Which as soon as the draft lottery happened, I knew that. But I
Seemed like
guess,
the second best option.
yeah. So that worked out really well for them, as well as it could have, I guess. Well, I mean, we'll see. I mean,
Yeah.
we've only had, I think Carlson has played maybe like 2 games already for Anaheim this year.
2 or 3. Yeah.
So jury's still out, but I think a lot
Regardless,
of people, I
your
think
top
a lot of
3
people
pick.
thought number 2, like the de facto number 2 was Fantilli. So
Yeah. But I think regardless, most drafts top 3, you're gonna be pretty good.
yeah,
You know, those
hard to
beginning
really
couple
complain
picks,
about those.
other than the COVID years, right, where things got a little weird, and
Yeah,
Tim Stützle fell to 3rd, ooh, and Jake Sanderson fell to 5th, ooh. But you know, not everyone can hit like the Sens can.
right. Yeah, well, they certainly have a long history of successful draft picks, right, Owen?
Well, some of them are.
Pierre
It's a shame they're gonna
Dorion.
have one less first round pick.
Yeah,
Mm,
much.
I'd say push it back, right? Like to break it down, we traded Dadanov from Ottawa to Vegas. Along the way, we forgot to tell him he had a no trade clause to some teams. Vegas tried to trade him to Arizona. Can't happen because Arizona's on the no trade clause. Arizona gets mad. Vegas gets mad because they don't have the money for Eichel that they needed or whatever. And Ottawa sort of just like wipes their hands in the corner and says, "Oopsies." And the league does nothing for 18 months until today, when we get fined either our 2024, 5, or 6 first-round draft pick. We get to choose. So, as GM, new GM of the Ottawa Senators, Brendan and/or Dean, because that position's open, which draft pick are you giving up?
I
Well,
have to look
you
because
don't really have to. Well, actually, I'll let Dean go.
I was gonna say like I don't know if one of those years there's another like not another Connor Bedard, but someone that's like a clear number 1 already. Um, because I mean, you hope that you're not fighting for the top draft spots and you're better than that, but you would hate to get the first overall and like or be like
Yeah,
able to get it and then lose it that year. So
that
I'd
would be
start with
bad.
that. And if they're all pretty similar, then I mean pushing it out's not a bad idea, I guess.
Yeah,
Brendan?
it would be horrific if you were a Sens fan if they chose the pick that ended up like being like a really high pick. Like
Mm-hmm.
not only did you lose it, but it was your choice that
Mm-hmm.
you picked the one that you lost. That was really important. So
It's tough.
That would be tough, but I think the thought process, at least for right now, is you don't worry about it, like for the time being, because you have until 24 hours before the draft day to decide. So the earliest you'd have to like actually make a decision would be July 2024.
Right.
And then
Which is
after that,
so much will be figured out by then, right? With draft order of next year's draft and
yeah,
like how the team's looking, like
yeah, you'll know where you're expecting to or where you're going to be picking in that year, so you can immediately sort of gauge. Like you'll have that full season's worth of information, barring like a whole bunch of injuries that kind of don't derail the season, don't give you any information at all. But
sure.
yeah, you'll have a better understanding of where the team's going to be at that time, and by that time you'll hopefully have hired a full-time GM.
Right.
Steve
Staios.
Staios
Yeah.
is currently the interim GM, but it sounds like it's more of like his role to deal with the day-to-day right now and then sort of decide or like make decision on who's going to be the person to replace him, I think is the current thought based on the Anlauer press conference from earlier today. But anyways, so yeah, you have some time and you'll have better information, and then you can go from there. And then if you want to keep that 2024 pick because maybe they tanked or something, not saying it's definitely going to happen, but it's already not looking great.
There's a chance. Yeah.
And then
Like you want it to be the worst draft pick possible.
Yeah.
Like
so
you want it to be 32.
If you think they're going to do really well in 2 more years, in 2026, they're going to be giving away the 32nd overall pick. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
We'll
But then by the
definitely
same
take
token,
that.
do you not want to serve this penalty as soon as possible so you no longer have this penalty looming over you? Like, that's tough. But then if you're pushing for being a really good team in 2026, and like this is going to be in the last, 6 draft picks if we want to make it to, past the conference round, right? Or into the conference round. Um, in those last 6 draft picks, is that worth, like, what is the value of that 2 or 3 years in front of a first round draft pick that's maybe 16 or 18 or 20, right? Something maybe a little higher up, but you know, the diminishing returns of things in the future versus present, it's hard to say that you shouldn't just push it off to the latest one and say, well, we did the best we could. We at least have the people that we drafted the last 2 years,
Yeah.
and I can't imagine if we're going to be a dumpster fire, I imagine we'll figure it out before 2026.
Well, also you'll know for the 2024 one, you'll know what pick you have before you have to
Right.
decide.
Yeah.
Like if
Right.
it's bottom half, maybe just pick that one.
Yeah, like right, that's what I'm saying. Get it over with soon. Like if we have pick number 23, we squeak into the playoffs, make it past a round, get into the second round or whatever. We got pick number 23. Eh? I mean, I'm sure that's a good player, but like,
Yeah.
I would much rather have served this penalty and then be able to move on and have it off. And I think
Right.
I watched the Michael Anlauer presser as well after work today, and he seemed pretty adamant that he was upset that this lasted as long as it did, that the punishment came this far after the perceived crime, right? The wrongdoing, and that it like, I think he did say that it seemed a little harsh. Which first round pick feels a lot, but also like a second round pick feels almost too trivial. Um, so I don't,
Yeah.
I guess good to slap the wrist for people that are doing the wrong thing, but it's just not fun that it's our wrist again.
Yeah. And he was like kind of perturbed that, this is being enforced before or after he took over the team, which he wasn't there when it happened. So he's kind of like, this is, I mean, ultimately this is our cross to bear. I've been sort of preaching it since I've purchased the team about accountability. So he's like,
That's the big
I
thing.
mean, there's nothing I can really do about it. It's just this is what we have to deal with now, and so I think good mindset to be in. But I guess just to close the discussion over what to do as far as deciding what pick is, just wait at least till you get to the end of the regular season or playoffs, and that's when it really matters. And
Yeah, I think this won't be figured out. One of the reporters asked him what his first thought was, and he was like, I got no clue.
Yeah.
Like we gotta look into this. It's because it's all like you've heard Steve Dangle say it. It's all magic beans. Like
Magic
it's all
beans.
just a numbers game. You never know. Draft pick could be Connor McDavid. It could also be Nail Yakupov. Like you never know. So you gotta just roll with it and see what happens. And someone will play hockey for you probably.
Yeah.
Plus, with the way that GMs get recycled like so quickly, the next GM might not even be there in 2 years by the time that the penalty's in effect. So it's like, I'll just pass it on to the next guy. Hope I win a cup while I'm here.
Right. And you would hope, with Michael Andlar saying, he's trying to like put in some like winning roots and like make Ottawa like real and happen and like push for things and success and like spend money, which is awesome, and refreshing. He also, I think is wanting to find somebody that won't just skip town or won't need a fire in 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking about the draft, did you guys hear about the proposal for a decentralized draft?
Yeah. I did.
Have
There's been
any
a lot of
thoughts on that, or just
misinformation.
not care?
I feel like there's been some cross wires on what that really means and looks like. If it means it's like the football draft where all the kids are there and like there's maybe one representative from each team that gets to go up and like maybe it's a Hall of Fame player, maybe it's whoever that gets to go up and announce a pick. I'm into that. But if it's like nobody's there and it's like the COVID years, then I don't think that would be very cool.
No, I mean, there's still gonna be like a location and like the whole podium and everything. It'd
Right.
just be the teams could send who they want, but like you can also just stay home and make your picks from
Yeah.
there.
No, I think
Which
that's
I
I
know
think that's
like
smarter.
a lot of I think it's again, it's more of a GM decision. I know GMs talk about how like the draft is like the 28th and 29th, and then 2 or 3 days later you have free agency opening up, so it's like busy with travel and everything. But I mean, you can move the day of the draft too. Like you can
Yeah.
push it
Or you can
earlier.
move it forward. Yeah.
Well, you probably have to rewrite the like CBA or something. It might be a pain, but
Mm.
I think this is part of that, just to avoid kind of that busy couple days. I mean, obviously, media is the one covering this, and they have their own opinions because they're the ones that kind of go to it. It's kind of like an end of year party for them because it's their last
Right.
hockey thing before the off season.
Yeah.
So, uh, yeah, I don't know. I really don't care either way. I mean, I watch the first round and that's about it. But whether it's
Yeah.
all in one place or like they just have like I don't need to see a camera pan to the table and see like 20
Right.
scouts all there and like that does nothing for the audience.
I'd
Or
rather it be
like
looking at the players anyways, right? Like
right.
that's who it's about. I feel like focus on the players, and I feel like that then also leaves more room, like I said, to bring in like Hall of Famers or like fans or whoever, right? To announce draft picks.
Hmm.
What do you think, Brendan?
I feel like I'm kind of accustomed to the way that it is, and so I think I would probably be initially against the idea of having it in a different format. I don't know. There's something about like having it sort of be like a little bit of a spectacle. Like I think you probably wouldn't be able to have as many like friends and family like of the some of the players go. Maybe you still would if it was similar to like the NFL draft sort of thing, or or like yeah the COVID years sort of ones which were a little bit different. But um, I don't know. I think I would prefer it because it just seems like a little bit more of like an event, and I don't know. Can like the public buy tickets to go to the
Yeah,
draft?
you can go to the
I
draft.
think
I think
so.
so.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Like I don't know if that would happen if it was decentralized. Maybe it still would. I guess like the NFL has it like that. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. I
but
mean,
it
I think
just
it's still in an arena or whatever,
yeah,
but
Yeah.
that's true. So I don't know. I guess I'd probably be able to live with it, but it just makes the league a little bit different, which I kind of like.
Yeah, having all the people there. The one thing I had heard, I guess, in the contrary, which, like you said, it's the GM's decision because they're the ones that are affected most by it, was that it. I don't remember where I saw it on Twitter, but I don't remember who had said it. Talking about one of the GMs saying that it was hard. It had been hard at times to like get deals done or like make things happen because people can see you on the phone
Yeah,
at
that's
draft day.
definitely a
I think that was
factor.
maybe part of the Alex DeBrincat trade that happened on draft day. That it was like things were getting stalled or like bogged down because there was like they were there and had to do shit rather than being able to like sit in their office and call who they need to it, and the other 31 or 30 teams don't know what's happening.
Yeah,
mm,
I guess if it did seem to lead to more trades at the draft, I would probably be more inclined because that's definitely part of the reason why I tune in. Like I
Yeah.
like I generally, and maybe I'll get better at this as I continue to watch the sport and become like a part of the media or whatever you call it. But
Yeah.
like I generally don't do my homework that well on like the prospects. So especially after the first round, so like just viewing it just for the possibility of witnessing a live trade is definitely a factor, at least for me,
Mm-hmm.
for tuning
mm,
in. So if that generally seemed to be on the uptick, if the decentralization happened, I would probably be in favor.
Yeah. Good topic, Dean.
Yeah, we didn't even
thanks.
have that one on here.
Yeah, it
Oh.
just reminded me about it because we were talking about the draft.
Yeah, so there's actually been like a pretty decent amount of headlines for the league since the last time we recorded because it's been like it's a little bit longer than we normally go because we recorded early the previous week and now we're recording
Mm,
in the middle of the week this time.
yeah.
Um, and
From one draft to
just stuff
another.
that's happened.
We had a draft recently for the inaugural year of the Professional Women's Hockey League, the PWHL.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, with many Clarkson alums on many teams, we have found out their names.
Allegedly. I don't think it's been confirmed yet,
Allegedly,
but
maybe.
there was a leak. I think it was based on like patents or copyright or trademark. I can't remember the term for it, but like they had to register the names into some, database, whatever it be. So the supposed names have been released or leaked or whatever, and they're not good, like not
None of them are
Really?
encouraging.
plural.
I don't think they're bad.
I don't like any of them, honestly.
I like
Really?
Boston.
I I
I I think the
I hate
Toronto
pretty much everyone.
really.
Why
I
Owen,
didn't
why
know
don't
you were a
you
Masai.
actually let's have Dean announce them because I think he's the most impartial. He won't have an
Sure.
inflection
Okay,
that Owen
okay.
or myself will have.
Yeah, Dean, let's use your
All right.
boring voice over there.
Yeah, here's my boring
I
one.
guess I'm the more
So
boring one.
the 6 teams are the Boston Wicked, the Minnesota Superior, the Montreal Echo, the New York Sound, the Ottawa Alert, and the Toronto Torch.
I
Suck.
think there are two that are not as good as the rest.
All right, let me.
I think there's four that are great, and I think there's two that are meh.
I think I
I think
know.
half of them are not great.
Okay.
Let,
Can we agree that Toronto Torch is not good?
I was
I
pretty
don't
sure you
know.
were gonna say that. One, because it's Toronto, and two,
It's
because it's
Toronto.
not that good.
It's not that good. And just going with alliteration, boring. Everybody
I
can do
thought that
that.
one was okay, actually.
T word, T word? Ugh. I have a more refined palate than that. Come on.
TOR.
Yeah. It's like somebody who might want to have their name be like the Boston Bruins. Well, too many B's. Ridiculous.
Well,
Toronto Torch? Ta-ta-ta-ta. No thanks. And Montreal Echo. Eh,
You mean,
eh,
yeah, I don't know. Uh,
eh.
Yeah, Echo and Sound and Alert are all for
I
me.
know. And
The
they're
Ottawa Alert
yeah,
has a
yeah.
history,
There's
though.
a history. It
The history
doesn't
of all
make
of them,
it
I
good though.
imagine.
Oh, no, no, no. Like the first professional women's hockey league in the 1917, 1918, or something like that
Yeah, it was like the
had a
1910s.
team in Ottawa that was the Ottawa Alert that absolutely smoked people. They were the best team in the league. It was insane. So very happy that they have that name, and I think it's cool. Ottawa Alert.
Ah, it just
They
doesn't
both
have
sound.
that factor to it that really makes it a good identifier in my opinion. Like
That's fair.
I just
It's a
don't
little vague.
yeah, I can't get behind it. I can't envision like artwork and logos
Mm,
for a lot of these things.
sure.
And
Or a mascot.
maybe as those things get released, it'll be a little bit more real.
Hmm.
But I guess like in this current state, like I just have no sort of identity. I'm not gaining anything from any of these names in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like maybe the
New York
Superior
Sound.
is kind of different, but like
Superior's cool.
I
it's
like that
just
one.
also one of those things where it's like you
I can
don't
bet.
want to have all of the teams not have like end in an S. Like yeah, maybe have a couple that are like the plurals.
Ah, I think
Like
it's cool.
I don't know. It just I mean it's tough because
Or maybe the Superiors.
there's not that many choices like at this point. You know with how many
Right. You're gonna step
leagues
on
there
somebody
are.
else's toes, and I think the thing is they very avidly went to not step on toes. I think these are all intentional names that you don't see. They're not the Eagles. They're not the Bears. They're not the whatever they else Cardinals. That
Yeah.
every league
And there's
has one of
merit to
these things.
that. There's definitely
Right.
merit to
Right.
that.
Having that creativity side. The New York Sound I think is cool because I don't think they're playing in New York. I think they're going to be playing in Connecticut, in Hartford, and so that sound is the Long Island sound, but it's kind of like New York. So I guess my gripe there is that it's called the New York Sound. I like sound.
They
The
might
New York
move to
part
New
I don't know if
York
I like as much.
eventually.
Right, and maybe they play on Long Island, and it's still the whatever. New York Sound, in the middle on.
Dean knows
Montreal
about
Echo, I
New
don't
York
love.
teams not playing in New York, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens.
And he's cool
Sometimes
with
in
it.
Jersey.
Actually, I don't know if you are cool with it.
Sure, it's fine.
Eh,
Okay.
it's all the same thing.
He,
The
he
Boston
doesn't
Wicked, though.
he
Cool
doesn't
name.
live there either, so doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah,
He's a Westerner now.
Wicked isn't
Boston
that
Wicked.
bad.
I like it.
I
I
think the
mean,
branding could
again,
be
it's the
good.
whole like touristy thing for Boston, like all the shirts say Wicked and whatever. But like, I mean, Wicked can just be more than just a descriptor word, like it can be an
An
actual
adjective.
noun, so like it works. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the word I was thinking of. Adjective. Or an
Descriptor word.
adverb. It can be an adverb as
Ooh, it
well.
could be an adverb.
Wickedly.
But
wicked
in this
slap
case, it can be
shot.
used as a noun. Like,
I mean,
so
an
I think that's
adjective.
cool. Like, you can be the Boston Wicked as a
Mm.
actual thing, which is cool. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it works.
I think there's a couple of them that seeing the branding, and if it works, like I think will really buoy my spirits, I guess.
And the
On some of
colors
them.
too, I think, are important.
Yeah, color scheme is absolutely huge. Like, and it's tough because you don't want to, again, step on any toes of other professional teams that are in the same area. Like, you don't want to
Right.
just piggyback off, like,
Yeah.
especially with an NHL team. I would be very surprised if like the New York Sound wore blue and white and red, and if
Or blue, white, and orange.
yeah,
Or if Boston was
like
black and
yeah,
yellow.
black and gold or whatever. Like yeah,
Yeah.
probably wouldn't be good for them. Like developing their own identity and then
Right.
yeah, like differentiating themselves. So
No, I agree with that.
we'll have more on it as the stories develop because yeah, again, these names are not even officially announced. They did announce or show off the logo for the league. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I think so.
Um, which I didn't think it was too bad. I didn't come away with a ton of strong feelings, but
Mm.
um,
Dean and I
I
obviously
think
have
a
teams we're
positive
gonna
is
pick as our
definitely like that.
right.
Also, so Boston's other team was the Boston Pride, and they had the same colors, but their jerseys were like all yellow. So it kind
Mm.
of worked. Like it was the same colors, but like it was very much two
Reversed.
different teams.
Hmm.
I'm just looking
I
at
Um,
think
the
that's
logo
fine.
again.
what I was saying, Brendan. I obviously have a team that I'm going to support. Dean obviously has a team he's going to support. Do you have a notion going forward who you're going to support out of the 6 teams?
No, like there's definitely merit to picking the team that's closest to me if I ever wanted to go to a game. So
Right.
that would probably still be, well, I guess I don't know if Hartford is
Montreal
closer to me than Boston
or Montreal.
or yeah, Montreal. But then you got to go to to Canada and that could be a whole thing. Anyways, I'll probably know more about my feelings once I see the branding because I can't root for a team that like I don't like what they wear.
That's
Like
totally fair.
I don't
You're a
really
fashionista.
I generally don't like red as a primary color, which
Mm.
Dean is a
That's
proponent
color.
of that. But
I don't like red as a primary color.
yeah, I'm not a
Yet I
fan.
love those Ottawa Senators. I just don't like wearing red.
I guess that's a difference between us then.
Mm. I'm a real fan. You just like their jerseys.
Well, no, I don't know. It's like at least like when they first came out, like the gray like was not like that interesting. I mean, I like the logo and stuff, but
I'm just
I
messing with you.
was
No, I
definitely
do
gonna
like their
I was
jerseys.
definitely gonna be a fan either way.
Right.
And like they haven't had a jersey yet in their like history that I have disliked. So and even if
That
they
red one was not good.
really a lot of people really liked it. It's hanging up right there. It's in
See
partial
the
view.
shoulder of it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, at
Especially
least
compared
for
to their
me.
ones they've done since then. It definitely in the time, sure. Reverse retro 2 years into your existence. I don't know what the fuck to do either. Like, but uh, uh,
A lot of people
I,
really
I,
liked it. You're definitely in the minority.
yeah.
But anyway, so I will get all of the Vegas jerseys regardless. So
Well,
eventually,
yeah.
there's gonna be one that I'm not gonna like. So we'll see how my allegiance is tested when that day comes.
Will you get all the PWHL jerseys?
Doubt.
I didn't know you hated women.
Yeah, I do actually.
That's tough.
No,
I'll let Bree know.
no hate
She'll
towards
start
women,
her
but
podcast.
I just have to devote all my resources into one league at this stage in the game.
At this stage.
Once the podcast starts raking in a little bit of dough, maybe we can
The
reconsider.
sponsorship
But
money.
no, like I don't even have like a Silver Knights jersey yet, which
That's fair.
I would really like to get. I mean, I probably
And
could have
those are
bought
really
one
cool.
by now, but
I
we'll
think
see.
with the amount over your shoulder, you probably could have gotten a Henderson one at some point.
Yeah,
It would have
maybe.
been okay.
Maybe. Um, And I don't even know who the manufacturers are for the PWHL jerseys. So, like, yeah, if I don't like how they
Nah,
look, like I probably won't get one unless I really start becoming a fan of the team. But,
Yeah.
like I don't even have a Buffalo Bills jersey. I have a shirtsy, but I
Oh.
don't
I was
have
like,
a.
man, you
I
have so
don't.
many Sabres.
No, I said Bills.
Yeah. Yeah. I got confused.
Yeah,
Would you
no.
get a Bills colored and logoed Sabres like hockey jersey?
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool.
I actually sort of like that. There was somebody on the hockey jersey subreddit who was selling their own custom made uh, Raiders jersey. So
Ooh.
it was a white jersey. I don't remember what the sleeve colors were, but then it had the Raiders logo. It was a made in Canada one. I think they usually
Nice.
make those out of like practice jerseys. They like take the
Mm.
crests off and they do some stuff to them. So it actually
Of like
looked
a
really
Kings
cool.
jersey or something.
Yeah, I almost actually bought it because I was like, this is kind of a
That'd be
rare
neat.
thing, and it is Vegas, even though like most Vegas fans, like Golden Knights fans, are not Raiders fans because obviously
Hmm.
Oakland just moved over there,
Oh,
and
true.
like
True.
they haven't really like the Raiders organization hasn't really done a lot for Vegas compared to like the Golden
Yeah.
Knights, like the
They've also
community
been
outreach
bad.
and stuff is like way different. So I don't know, it'll be a little weird, but I'm also not
Mm.
from the area, so it doesn't really matter.
I
Right.
wonder if Vegas is like the only city where the hockey team has a bigger fan base than the
it,
football
it
team.
it is. There's like I mean, at least according to these like Twitter graphics I see, like I've seen photos. It's like every state's like allegiance, like with the big four sports, and like yeah, the only NHL team ever on there is Vegas,
Mm.
and then like Canada has
Well, yeah, I was
NHL
about to
teams
say.
obviously,
I know
but the
Canadian football
U.S.
is kind of
doesn't.
big.
Yeah, the Ottawa Red Blacks are surprisingly not as big as the Ottawa
Yeah.
Senators, despite how bad we've been. We still have more of a pull.
How have the Red Blacks been?
I don't follow the team.
That was just really what I was checking. I don't care about the
Ba-
Red Blacks.
it does pop up on my timeline though, because like the TSN 1200, which is the radio station that covers them in Canada, covers the Sens in Canada, also covers the Red Blacks, and like the regular TSN account will post stuff, and so I'll see it every once in a while, but unless they're doing astoundingly well, I don't really pay attention. It's the CFL. It's cool though. I like that the differences they made. The receivers can like sprint up to the line before the play starts, and the field goals are at the front of the end zone.
I don't like
There's other
that.
stuff, but
I don't like the field
I
goals
think
at
it's
the
cool.
front of the end zone.
It's like a pick. You can just like run past it and
It's just
shave your
like
defender off.
it's just not an element that I appreciate. But I feel like the
Feels
risk
old
of
timey.
injury is also
Yeah.
greater.
Oh yeah.
I don't know
But
if
you're
there's
but also you're
statistics
more
on
paying
that, but
attention to it, right? You get used to it because like it's always there.
well, yeah.
It's not like they wheel it out when you get
No,
close.
you got me there. You got me there.
Did y'all see the talking about football? The red zone, the frozen frenzy. Were y'all watching the actual stream for it when it happened,
Yeah.
or were y'all watching your
hmm
individual games?
I
I
watched until the Bruins. I watched from like 5 to 6:30, or I guess I
Mm.
should say. Well, actually, first off, Brendan and I had this discussion. They advertised that it would start at 6 Eastern, and it
Mm,
didn't start until 7.
That was
that's
bull.
dumb.
I tweeted that from the Bread Hockey Twitter account.
I liked and retweeted
But I
that.
started watching
Thanks,
at
Owen.
7, and the Bruins were on until 8:30, so I watched for an
Mm.
hour and a half. I mean, it was good. I feel like the start was kind of slow because there was only like one game. At first, it was just the Buffalo game, right? That was the first
Yeah,
Mm.
game.
yeah,
It was
Buffalo.
just that, so didn't have anything to like jump to. But I feel like at its peak, it was good, like jumping back and forth on power plays and like jumping to goals. And I do like how they did the same thing as Red Zone, where they don't, for the most part, they didn't tell you like, and here's a goal from earlier. Like they just say,
Mm,
and now we're going to this game, so you don't know, like you know something's gonna happen. Obviously, they wouldn't be showing you
right.
otherwise,
Yeah,
but you don't know if it's a big save or a goal. So like, there's that surprise, which I
That's cool.
liked. Um, I guess the one gripe I would have, which it's funny because I argued the opposite point earlier about how when there was like 3 games earlier in the year and they didn't stagger the start times, they were all like intermission at the same time. I think this was too staggered, where
Mm.
like in the moment there was just like too much going on. I don't
Right.
know the best way to describe it, but like,
Yeah.
well, the issue was like there was a game going on, but another game was at intermission, so they only had that game. But if they all started, if you had a few start at the same time, then you have a lot to jump between. Like if there's 5 games happening at exactly the same time, then you have a power play here or a goal here
Right.
versus if you stagger them where there's only one game now and then one game while the other one's at intermission, you're
Sure.
only showing one game the whole time.
Right. Instead of make it like an 8-hour program or like a 12-hour program, make it an 8-hour program or a 6-hour program and
Yeah,
have more
like
games
condense it a
overlap.
little more. Like yeah, they spread it out. It was like over 12 hours. Like the Vegas game
Right. There's
started at
so
midnight,
right.
basically.
Right. Comparatively.
So
And
like,
there's
it was
some of
almost
those in
too
Red
spaced
Zone.
out.
It wasn't 12 hours. It was from 7
Like 8.
to like 2:30 in the morning or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess it
8
wasn't, yeah.
hours.
But I guess you know what I mean. Instead of having like your game start, like instead of having there be a big distribution of games start times, right? Have like more concentric
More
start time or like
chunks.
more
Yeah.
or like have more happen in the same window. Which were you saying, Dean? Like have
Blocks.
Yeah, maybe blocks, but just have it where it's not just one game playing while another game's at intermission. Because then,
gotcha.
like, there
Have
were
3 or
times where
4
they
games
were
at
on one
once.
game for like 5 or 6 minutes, and like,
Yeah.
because they had nothing else to show. But if you have 5 games at all go at the
You
same
can
exact
right.
time, then you can bounce back and forth to all the highlights.
Like
Yeah, but
truly stack it up like they do Red Zone where like there's 6 teams or 6
Right, there's
games
all your
all
1 o'clock
starting.
games, all your
yeah.
4:30 games, like.
But
I get what you mean, and I agree.
you do run the risk of having all of the games in one block at intermission at basically the same time, and then you just have like dead
Yeah.
air. But I guess you can fill
It's
that
a
with like
balance.
highlights
And you
from the
can cut
period.
back. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
Like I also
maybe
don't want 20
that would be
minutes
good.
of no games happening, but like if you have all 16 games in a day, I think you can figure out a way to have it where there's more than one game happening at a time, but no point where there's 0 games happening.
Yeah, probably.
Right.
But
Other than that, I liked it.
yeah, like I did think they did a pretty decent job. I was ticked off about the way that they advertised it starting at 6. And
That's
they
annoying.
also advertised that they were going to be showing all the hits as well as the
Oh
scores and the
yeah,
power plays, and I did not notice them
every
panning.
hit. Yeah.
I didn't see them pan
Yeah.
to a hit like during the whole thing, and I watched from 7 to basically the start of the Vegas game at 11. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and by that point, ironically, I was like pretty much done, and I
Mm.
went to bed. Like I don't even know if I watched. I may have watched a little bit of that game. I think I watched maybe the first period, and then I was just toast. But but yeah, I don't remember them doing that, so that was kind of a bummer. But I wasn't really. I was just sort of curious to see if it would work, if it felt like it was something that they could try again, and I think the answer is yes.
Yeah.
I would be happy to see them try it again, work out some of the kinks, and come back stronger, and maybe do it a couple times a year. I don't know how
It
often
was
it would work.
it was on a weekday, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
on a Tuesday.
Absolutely stick it at 2 to 5 on a Saturday.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That'd be
I think
so much
I think
better.
a weekend could work.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to like if I'm just gonna put on a hockey game, I think I'd prefer the Frozen Frenzy, but like
Oh,
I'm still gonna watch the Bruins over it.
Right.
Also, do you
Right.
guys know it wasn't even in Canada? Because like on TSN,
Yeah,
like Canada didn't even get it, so kind of
because
gotta
this
work
is all
on
their own
gotta
thing.
work on that too.
Right.
I didn't
Right.
know that. So, pardon
Which is the tough part
our
about
ignorance, our American
the
ignorance.
like
Contract.
difference in yeah contracts and TV stations between the two countries,
Broadcasting
despite
rights.
having the same league,
Mhm.
right? So like, I could have watched it all before the Sens game. I ended up just watching the Sens game. I had other stuff going on that day, and I wasn't able to watch before the Sens game started. Um, but yeah, TSN, while I do really love it and is better than ESPN in a lot of ways, sadly can't get their app for my hockey knowledge on my phone. They are obviously a significantly smaller budget and like way less viewers, like way smaller market than ESPN. So they get a little less done, I guess, right? They don't really have the reach or the scope to pull off something like that, but they should have found a way to broadcast that internationally.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully that's something that they get worked out next time. I mean, I don't know. It's tough, like with some of these broadcasting deals. Like if, like I don't know if that's something where they can, like patch that in or add an addendum or something. Because I know some of these things can be tricky with signing the new contracts. But yeah, that would be good to have a way for a large portion of your viewing market to be able to watch it.
Yeah.
But also Americans definitely need it more. Like as far
Oh
as
yeah.
like hockey is concerned, like we're the ones who already don't watch. So if there's anybody that's gonna like tune into hockey just because of this, like it's us for sure.
Canadians don't need to be convinced to watch hockey.
No, they are already on top of that shit.
They do it. They do it pretty well.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about some Bruins news?
Yeah, just looking up the Frozen Frenzy ratings to see how they did. It averaged 432,000 viewers on ESPN.
I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
I have no
Again, I was like, is that a lot?
no
It says on
gauge,
ESPN
yeah.
triple header and 196,000 on ESPN2 whip around coverage, compared to 562,000 for a traditional double header on ESPN alone last year. Okay.
Okay, so a little
Not great.
Let's say nobody can compare it to Red Zone because it's apples and oranges.
Right.
They didn't advertise it great up until like a week or so before, but that I did see like an effort. Like I actually had I might still have the Snapchat I sent to some of you guys when like I saw like an ad for it.
Toronto, you will see it. We will whip around to every game starting 7 Eastern, ESPN Plus. Join on ESPN2 at 8 Eastern. 16 games, one night, one family of networks. It's the NHL Frozen Frenzy.
I was like, oh my gosh, like they had like an animation and like they actually advertised. I was like, yes, good. Like as much as I hate ads, like advertising for my favorite league, like yes, please do that. Get more people to watch this sport.
I think a good part of it, the low numbers, is Tuesday too, right?
Tuesday definitely.
Well, so the number, the 432 is for just watching on ESPN, like watching the triple header. So watching the Bruins game and then the like whatever games are on.
Sure.
But the Frozen Frenzy itself, there was only 196,000, which is so that's not a lot.
That's really low.
Then it says for a normal triple header on ESPN, it's 560,000. So it's less than that.
What also didn't help it was that only the first 2 hours were on or the only for only an hour and a half or whatever it was on ESPN Plus, and then it switched over to ESPN2 for the rest of the night. So
it said the peak was at 9:15 to 9:30.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Eastern?
Yeah. What Eastern? Okay. So at least people that had like regular cable were tuning in because
right.
You could only, if you were just streaming it, you could only do it for that first little block there. So that probably lost some people at the beginning, but I guess they found their stride at the end when the actual content was the most interesting. Probably that was when I'm sure a lot of the earlier games were wrapping up or going into OT, and then all the middle.
That's the end of the 7 o'clock games.
Yeah, so
right.
that lines up. Anyways, how about that Bruins news?
How about them Bruins?
Yeah,
I heard they suck. They lost that game.
Which news? All the news?
Yeah,
whatever you got.
You feel.
We can start with the McAvoy hit.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen it.
Obviously, watching it live, it was just very out of character for him. Like I saw it and I was just very surprised.
Like, oh.
And then watched the replay. I'm like, really? Like that's what you're doing here?
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking 2-game suspension just because that's the way the league is, but I don't have like a problem with it being 4 games. Like the hit's bad, and I mean, if it was a direct to the head, and like if you're gonna send a message, like he also has a little bit of a history. I think he has a history with hit to the head, leading with the head or whatever you want to call it.
4 years ago against Columbus.
So that probably had part of the reason because the history comes into effect when it comes to the also the puck.
Do I have to teach you this lesson, old man?
How late the puck or the puck left seconds before.
Yeah,
it was gonna be a late hit anyway. But I just what are you doing? I was just I don't know surprised. I mean,
the lean up into it is
and I mean maybe you could give him the benefit of the doubt and be like, well, he's looking away. Maybe like he's raising his shoulder just to get contact, but not going right for the head. But it looks like he was just like, I see his head, I'm going for his head, and like
He hadn't started turning it, right? He's still going straight through the body and then
yeah,
makes
that
the
was a
turn
tough
back up
one.
the ice. I think, 4 games, probably enough.
Yeah,
Bad
but like I said, I was
play.
just surprised to see it, honestly. Like there was no need for it, and like he's not really the type of player like he has big clean hits normally. Like he's not one
Right.
to play dirty. So
No.
I don't know, I was more surprised than anything else.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a big hit. He wasn't moving particularly
No,
fast, it didn't seem like. It was just like a
just
pretty
shoulder to
direct,
head.
intentional shoulder to like, not even just head, like jaw, right? His whole
Hmm.
head just like turned and hit. But
Yeah,
yeah, lucky it wasn't going too much faster.
yeah,
Hopefully it's a wake up call for him. Like, okay, yeah,
right.
I made a mistake. I gotta be like way more cognizant out there because you know
Well, you
you
see,
never
this
know.
is what happened when you have a goon like Brad Marchand as your team captain. He probably
Yeah,
told him to do this.
Everyone's a goon.
definitely.
The Bruins are going to start licking everyone.
Yeah. And then we also signed Heinen to a 1-year league min, so he was on a PTO. He
Okay.
hadn't played yet. We finally signed him. We've had a couple injuries too. Lucic is out week to week with a foot injury. So,
That's
We
tough for
talked
an old
about
guy.
that.
I remember that from
um,
last week's episode.
yeah, so we got him signed. I mean, he looked great in preseason. He played his first game the other night and looked fine. Um, that's all good. And then the other news is um, Matthew Patra will be staying on the team.
Yep,
So
Aquaman
we'll be
confirmed
using
it.
a year of his entry level contract, and I mean that doesn't mean we don't end up like sending him down. I think he's too young to play in the AHL. I think is how it works, but like we can still have him. Doesn't mean he needs to play all year in the NHL, but either way, like
Right.
we can send him back to the other league. But we're at this point we're gonna be he might go back and forth just because we're using a year of his contract.
Yeah.
Do you know
But
what
I
other
mean,
league he was in?
I think ECHL.
Okay. I didn't know if he was a Canadian kid or if he was down in the American system.
Yeah, I could be
He's
wrong, but I think it's
he's American.
ECHL. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I mean, he's played great. He obviously had a game with 2 goals. I think he has 3 goals so far, maybe 4. But I mean,
Nice.
he has played with a lot of poise, especially for a 19-year-old. Like he has his head up. He has good. He kind of actually reminds me of Marchand the way he like protects the puck. Like he's not
Mm.
a big player. I mean, especially he hasn't put on weight yet because he's so young. But like the way he
19-year-old
can come
kid.
into the offensive end and like go up against the boards with the puck and keep it like against NHL defensemen and find an open man. So just even not just relying on superstar skills, which he's
Right.
not. He's no McDavid or Bedard,
Right.
Yeah.
but just I feel like a young person with that kind of NHL IQ is a really good sign. And I
Totally.
think it's nice to piss off other fans who are like, oh, they finally lost their number one center of 20 years, and just
Ugh.
like this guy rolls up as like, I'll be your not another top 6 center for you
Yeah.
guys, like out of nowhere.
I can do it.
Es-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially with like pretty much most of the ranking systems like for prospects have the Bruins as the last team or second to
every
last team.
year for the last like 5 years.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
like, oh my god, even these guys who I already hate for, having so much success are still
Yeah.
finding diamonds in the rough, kind of like what Tampa does, it seems.
Yeah,
Like all the time, like, oh, Barre Boulet, never heard of him before. He comes in for an injury, and then suddenly he's a mainstay in the lineup. Like Nick Perbix has done that a little bit. They had that with Ross Colton for the time. He ended up winning a
And with
cup,
their
and
goalie.
oh yeah,
Their
Johansson
goalie
had
now.
had a
Yeah.
heck of a week.
He's popping off.
So naturally, they finally seem like they might have a hurdle that they need to jump over. And they say, oh well, I guess we'll just have to use this guy, and then he's like, sure, I can do that, no problem.
I'll post a 9:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like my 10th game in the NHL. I don't care.
I don't think they're doing like that great in the standings though. They might have had a bit of a resurgence recently, but
Speaking of Tampa,
still, yeah, Tampa.
Yeah. The
they have 11
Atlantic
points.
is
They're in
still
12th.
very.
They're 4-2-3. So they got 3 overtime
So
losses.
yeah,
for
they're
points.
fourth in the Atlantic, 1 point back from Montreal.
Right, which is why we can't look at the Atlantic standings yet.
No, we can look at them.
That's what
They're
you're
fine.
saying
Hey,
is Mr. 7th over.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Potentially
We're
last.
4-4. We're in 7th, but also, I mean, that's what happens when you play 500 hockey. Like, just be
This would
better.
be. I'd love to go into the playoffs with Detroit and Montreal.
Yeah, me too. I think Detroit's gonna fall apart, and by that, I hope and pray every single night that Detroit
I
falls
mean,
apart.
well,
They lost a couple games
their
now.
team as a team they were shooting like 15%,
Yeah,
and
the
not
Brinket
to
was
check.
shooting at like 50%.
Yeah, DeBrincat
Yeah.
had like 9 goals in 7 games. It was at like 40%.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah,
don't think that's
that is so
sustainable.
unsustainable.
Yeah.
Like, he's gonna drop off like a brick. Somebody who won't though, Jack Hughes, the guy just fucking produces. He's over McDavid's pace the year McDavid scored 153. So Jack Hughes for 150 points is a lock. Is what I'm saying right here, right now.
Oh wow. Okay, we'll put that in the lore.
Jack Hughes 150 points. That Devils team is a wagon. Jack Hughes is amazing, and he's got his brother on his team.
Count me in.
That's a win. So
I'll probably end up
Quinn
seeing the
is
game.
tied for first in
For
defenseman points. Jack first in forward points, and Luke is first in rookie or rookie defenseman.
Probably
One of the
rookie defenseman. I think. I think
Yeah,
I saw
with 11
something for rookie
something.
points.
Ridley Gregg is number one
Yeah.
in rookie points.
Yeah, Greg
That's what it was.
was on there. There was actually a Vegas player that was on there, which I was like, that sounds good.
Might as
it
well.
was Korzak, who's a defenseman.
Oh, the guy I've never heard of.
He's a defenseman. I was like, oh wow, things are not going well for the rest of the rookies. Then,
Right.
He's still good, but like he's definitely not at that same level as some of the other guys on that list.
Sanderson
not yet,
is
anyways.
leading the league in defenseman points, maybe, or no, second.
Who?
He's top 5 at least.
Sabres?
Sanderson. He's been Sanderson.
Oh,
Jake.
I don't know why you would be talking about Buffalo.
I'm not.
Yeah, I got it.
He's been electric, especially with the rest of our decor falling apart. You know, Zub took a puck to the ear, and Ovi slap shot to the ear.
Ooh.
And I can only imagine how that feels. And then who was it? We lost some other guys as well. I don't remember.
Some less important guys.
It's been a couple days since we had a game. It's been more
Yeah.
just drama in Sensland. But I remember we've had some injuries, and that sucks. So we've had some call-ups on defense, and obviously we don't have Pinto signed. He's not going to play for us until at least January. But the good thing is all the games we've played retroactively are counted in his 41-game suspension, which I think makes it all the more weird that he's not playing. He's not even eligible to play these games. Like, he couldn't if we wanted him to because he doesn't have a contract. But yeah, suspended for 41 games for doing something.
Yeah.
We don't really know.
Sports gambling.
He gambled, or maybe he didn't. Maybe somebody else gambled.
Gambling's
and they said
definitely
that they were Shane
involved in
Pinto.
some way.
There was gambling, and there was Shane Pinto. And there was somebody else,
There's a
which I think
link.
is the problem.
There's a link there
Right.
somewhere.
There's a person between them, and that's the issue. From what I've heard and read as a Sens fan, it was that he had somebody else either betting on his behalf or betting on his account,
Yeah,
right? So like
that's what I
Pinto
figured.
says to somebody, I want to place this bet, or Pinto had a betting account and somebody bet on his account. Either way, that's against the terms of service of the betting app, which is so in the pockets of the NHL,
Yeah.
and on the helmet and on the ice and on the boards and in the logo. It's everywhere. Which the Sens Twitter had a field day on nice little edits to different NHL statements that have, presented by Bet99 or whatever.
Yeah.
And Adlauer had a good quip in the presser about how he's a 21-year-old kid who's recovering from an injury, who has a cell phone in his hand,
Has a phone.
and Wayne Gretzky is on the MGM commercial.
Yeah,
like,
he did say that.
why suspend? Why? Oh, it's tough. I hope he made a lot of money. because he's not going to on his next contract. He will not be making $2.5 million. I can guarantee you that. He will be making, I would imagine, south of 1.5 and most likely south of 1. I wouldn't be surprised if he came in at like 875, like close to league min, for a 1-year contract as a super prove me like, hey, we like you as a hockey player. Can you figure out how to be an adult as well?
It also makes
see what
sense
happens.
now why there was so much delay with like the contract
yeah.
negotiation, and like
Yeah.
I guess good on Dorian for like not like he could have just come out and been like, yeah, we're like the reason we're not gonna pay him or we don't want to pay him is because we're unsure about this whole sports
Right.
thing. Like he kept it under
Yeah.
the table, which was like the right thing to
Well,
do.
I
So,
don't know how much the Sens knew other than there was just an investigation. I think they knew that there was something happening, but they didn't know entirely.
they
And sort
could
of
have
like,
said that and like released that there's an investigation,
Right,
but they
totally.
didn't. Which I mean, I think
No, it was the right move. I agree.
And
Protects your asset.
And Lauer mentioned in the press conference also that they like got wind of it in like the summer, and then he said once they like heard that there was an investigation, like they cut off any negotiations. So yeah, they were basically like, okay, we got to let this.
But not a lot of details
because there's no reason to do that. Yeah, so they were a little bit. It sounds like they were a little bit blindsided until like obviously fairly recently that this was going to be what came of it. So they were kind of in the same position that all the Sens fans and like all hockey fans were, and just kind of like waiting, not having any information on the situation. Just like,
and then just jaw drop when you see 41 games and you're like, what the half the season? Like, because they made it very clear that he did not bet on NHL games. If he was betting on NHL games, that's a completely different thing, right? Like, I understand that. Don't bet on your own job. That's weird. You can't do your job well enough.
You can bet on other things like other sports, but it's also there's like certain rules like you can't bet on like the NHL premises, like you can't bet from like the locker room or whatever. There's just all these weird rules, so like he could have done something like that.
Yeah.
Like again, we don't have enough information to know exactly
and they're not
what
gonna.
happened.
We'll never.
That was part of his agreement, right? They basically were like, hey, we can suspend you a lot longer than 41 games if you want to appeal this. So we can give you 41 games and let you be the example, and you can take it and walk away and hold your lips and say nothing.
Yeah.
And I think it's a little bit of bullying, but I think Pinto made the right decision.
That might
just
say something about what he did then. Like if
Right.
if he doesn't want to appeal it, if it was something like an honest mistake, like really like nothing really, I'd probably appeal it. So.
But I guess like he's admitting that he did it, but like is what he did that bad? Like you had somebody else bet on your sports betting account, or you had somebody else bet for you, and like,
Well, it's kind of interesting because like just based on the English word account has those two different meanings. One being the physical account from betting, and then the other is on my account, like on my account. Behalf. So like, based on that wording, it's like we actually don't know.
Yeah,
they could have said profile. They could have said behalf. Yeah.
Yeah. So they kind of. I mean, I don't know if that was intentional or whatever, and maybe that's not how it's officially been released.
It's all intentional,
but it's definitely it's kind of humorous. Like sucks as a Sens fan, obviously, and as Shane Pinto and as managers, but as me, that's really funny.
It's funny. Oh, it's hilarious. It definitely is just one of those things that is just like, well, of course. And of course it's happening to a Sens player because that's how it works.
Yeah.
Your girlfriend's so toxic, your star player wants to leave, that's a Sens thing.
Has had something like this happen every season since the taxi thing. Like that was like
the taxi thing. Yep.
Like.
Hoffman's girlfriend is bullying Eric Carlson's wife.
Oh yeah.
And so they have to ship off Hoffman. And all the stuff with the former owner. There's him threatening to move the team at the Winter Winter Classic against Vancouver in 2014 or whatever. He was like
Heritage Classic.
Heritage Classic. I'll just take the team and leave. And it's like. What?
Well, that's why we watch hockey, right? For the entertainment.
Yeah.
Are the ups going to show up at some point with these downs? I remember watching that playoff series back in 2017. No, that was a down. That sucked. Losing to Pittsburgh sucked. Thanks, Brendan, for wearing the jersey. Well, no, that's what made it hurt so much more. Double overtime. Game 7. Chris Kunitz.
Sorry.
Chris Kunitz. It's tough.
I'm wearing Pittsburgh today actually in honor of Adam Johnson, who scored his only NHL goal for the Pittsburgh Penguins. So I felt it would be a bit apropos, I guess, to
No, it's a good
to do
reason. The
that.
only good reason to wear a Pens jersey, and the only
Yeah.
good Pens player, in my opinion.
This one doesn't get much use. But yeah, for those uninitiated, there was a former NHL player named Adam Johnson playing over in the UK in the EIHL who unfortunately was cut in the throat area with a skate and did not survive the accident. So yeah, he was 29 years old. He had a little bit of a stint in the NHL. He played for Pittsburgh. He had a couple games. He actually played against Vegas, so he didn't. It was pretty recently that he played. I think it was like 2019 season. So unfortunate situation, and some players have been talking about wearing neck guards to prevent that sort of thing. There were 4 Jets players that were wearing guards in warm-ups either yesterday or today. So there might eventually be something positive coming out of this, and the EIHL is also going to be putting a mandate in starting January 1st to have all players wear skate protection on their necks.
I just saw that as well because I just looked up what a neck guard looks like. I'd never seen one before.
It's a
Yeah,
strong
hopefully,
recommendation right now.
Hopefully it's like enforced, because I know with other like safety rules, like visors, for a while people would wear them and have them tilted up all the way. So like,
Right.
I mean,
You
it
have
was
your neck guard, but
actually,
it's pushed down.
there was a
It's
death in Europe in like the late 90s, I think, in like the Swiss Hockey League, a similar incident. I'm probably gonna butcher his name. It was like Bengt Ackerblom. Same thing, has neck cut and died. And I think at the time there's probably still talk about like neck guards, and nothing really came of it. So hopefully this time, I mean, it's been years later and equipment's come far, but I know like people are complaining about them being uncomfortable and restrictive, so they'll kind of wear them low or whatever. But I mean, hopefully, yeah, it does bring a positive change, and obviously
You think
thoughts and prayers to his family and also like the players involved, and even, I mean, the player who cut him, I'm sure he's dealing with his own trauma, and even before having to deal with death threats, which he's getting now online, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
It doesn't help
everyone
that
gets
people
the
choose to be
counseling they
cruel.
need and all that.
No. I was talking about this with a coworker, and he was saying like that maybe they could use something that the military uses for like cauterizing wounds like really quickly. It's like I don't know, it's some sort of like adhesive or something that like bonds really quickly to the skin to like basically like cauterize the wound. Maybe that's something that they could have if like the skate guard thing ends up being kind of like cumbersome and players are like finding it difficult, or if it's like, yeah, I'm sure like that area gets like sweaty and it would be kind of uncomfortable to have that. So maybe there's alternatives to wearing protection. Obviously you don't want anybody to get cut anyways, like you wouldn't want to need to resort to that, but it's just food for thought.
Yeah, and when Clint Malarchuk got his neck cut in the NHL, the only reason, or the main reason cited for why he survived, was because the person who came out there was used to be in the military and like knew where to grab to stop the, or like slow the bleeding.
Yeah.
But also I just looked up, so the person from Switzerland, Ackerblom, he played in like the Swedish Elite League, I think, and after his death, a requirement for all ice hockey players to wear a neck guard was introduced in Sweden January 1st, 1996. So I guess we could also look into that and see how well that's enforced to get an idea. But again, hopefully, whether that was enforced well or not, hopefully this one is
My thought was
enforced.
going forward and looking, trying to enforce these things, players are going to push back on it, right? But players push back on, like you said, visors, and
Helmets.
players push back on helmets. Yeah, and like to think
Goalie
that you would
masks.
that you would let players go out and do that. Like, I don't want to wear a goalie mask. I can't see the puck as well. Like, I'm sorry, tough shit. I don't want to see your nose broken into 15 pieces when you take a slap shot to it. Like,
It's our league.
and same with the helmet. Like, you gotta for the sake of the fans don't want to see that. Whether you're watching on TV or watching in person, nobody wants to see that kind of injury. Maybe a big hit, cool. People want to see that. A fight, people want to see that. Nobody is there to see this. It should be all steps should be taken to make sure it does not happen again, right? And if that's making people wear more padding, it's making people wear more padding. I'm sorry, you got knives on your feet. It's gonna happen. Like, you got to protect yourself.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of people saying that, like, skates don't get up that high. I'm sorry. That's part of the game. That's part of the RNG of the game, right?
You don't watch the sport if you.
I mean,
think
Lauco
that's
got
true.
a skate to the face earlier this year. He cut right out of his eye. He had like a facial fracture.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
he was tweeting some pretty funny stuff about it.
Yeah,
actually.
you see the picture. Like, woke
I
up
saw
feeling
that.
great, and he had the picture of I don't know what
The
movie that's
scar and just the biggest plum
Yeah.
eye. It was so purple.
He's like,
Yeah.
He's like,
I think we're all in
Hockey's
agreement there.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Right. But there's ways to make it safer. And, as we figure those things out, it's imperative that, you make the players do what is realistic, right? Can't put them in,
Overwrap.
a bubble, right?
Yeah. And speaking about safety and health, Backstrom's taking time away from the league due to his injuries.
Yeah, that just
And I
came
mean,
out.
there was a statement that came out, and he basically said he's taking the time and wants privacy and all that. And I mean,
That's fair.
obviously
What season is this for him? Like 15?
a lot.
He's 35, so.
So yeah, like
it's probably
15,
around
16
there.
seasons.
Yeah.
That just takes a toll on you.
Yeah.
Right.
So he had hip resurfacing surgery last year.
That sounds like it hurts.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun.
Resurfacing.
And especially at his age, like it's harder and harder to come back from those types of injuries. So,
Yeah.
he's obviously weighing his options right now. He hasn't, it's not like he's saying that he's retiring because of the injury. It might end up being like a, Carey Price sort of situation where it's like
Marion
they're
Hosta,
still holding out hope that they can play, and it just doesn't happen. Or maybe he'll have like a great comeback and whenever the timeline works for him. But it's probably the right move. Doesn't really matter to us if it's the right move or not. It's his choice.
Yeah.
I don't think the Capitals are behind him 100%. I mean, he's been there for a long time. Helped bring a Stanley Cup to Washington for the first time. So they're gonna support him and his family no matter what.
Right. No, and I think that's good. I think it's good to see players stepping up for themselves like this, and I think it's good for the young players to see older players say like, "Hey, yeah, no, I'm good." I think we've seen that a lot recently in football, especially on the defensive side, and Andrew Luck as well, right? Where players are saying like, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, this hurts my body too much, and I've made millions of dollars, so I'm gonna stop.
Yeah.
And players are like Luke Kuechly, right? The linebacker. He retired when he was like 28 or something, or 29, and they were like, "You have so many good years ahead of you." It was like, I don't need to throw my body against other men and hurt myself
Good years to
for
live.
sport for you, right? Like, yeah, reduce the chances that I will be able to see my kids graduate high school or whatever, right? Like, it's tough. Do you all think Patty Kane will get signed,
I was
or
just
does he
thinking
just
that,
sort
'cause
of
he
quietly
also
walk
had
his way out of the league?
He had the hip
Rumblings.
resurfacing surgery as well. So
Sounds like things
I
are
think
going a
he's
lot better
done.
for him though.
Yeah,
Who's
I
got
mean,
cap room? And then at the start of next year, somebody's gonna get him.
well, I googled him, and there's like
Buffalo.
4 articles from today about speculation and rumors about where he's gonna go.
Yeah,
So
I
I
saw
mean,
some.
there's
I saw
still
some tweets today.
the Sabres, the Stars, Red Wings, Panthers, Devils, Rangers, Maple Leafs, Golden Knights, all mentioned as possible. I mean, probably the Golden Knights, 'cause they
Anybody
get all
would
the
take him if
superstars.
they
They'll
could,
always just
right?
throw
Like,
Vegas in there. Yeah.
Yeah, Vegas will always take a superstar.
It'll be
And
interesting
you've
to see
got
how much he's worth.
They said the Bruins are not likely to join that list just because of we have $700,000 in cap space.
right. Like that's what I'm thinking. Who has cap space to sign another player that's
Vegas will
anything above
figure it
league
out.
minimum, right? Like,
I don't
and
think we really need to mess with what we've got going on right now. To be
Yeah, I
perfectly
agree.
honest.
you guys are doing
Oh,
okay.
I was gonna ask you this too. So the one loss you had, I assume it was like just playing poorly because against a bad team, right?
Yeah, they
Is
had
it?
a lead going into the third, and they let Chicago back in it.
Do you think
And they ended up
that
losing.
loss speaks to the team's like overall weaknesses? So like in the Bruins case, our loss came down to not being able to clear the puck out of the zone, which has been an issue. Like, I mean, it's been a short season, but all season long so far. Did you find something similar in your game where it was like something like that, or is just you guys got tired out of gas kind of deal?
Um, there were a couple of reasons to be concerned, like things that you've sort of noticed, but they've like escaped from in some of the other closer wins. Like yeah, management of the puck and some things like that. But overall, I think it was just you know the dam was going to sort of burst eventually, and they sort of got some bad puck luck. I mean, obviously they still were involved. It's not like they weren't out there. But yeah, I think overall they've like even Mark Stone has said that they have another gear to hit. Like they haven't played their best, kind of like what Gifford mentioned the last episode. Like they have another level to hit, and they hold themselves to a really high standard. Obviously, after winning the cup, it's like yeah, we're not going to settle for anything less. So
Yeah. Well, since that
I'm really not
loss,
concerned.
have you seen the team like wake up more? Do you think that like that losing that game had changed anything on the team, or do you think it was more
Prob-
just like
I don't think
nothing to
so.
overreact to, just continue how they've been playing
I
and
think they're at least like last season, and I think as well this season. Like they haven't really been phased by like setbacks, whether it's in game or maybe a couple losing streaks or whatever. Like
Mhm.
they haven't really been like they've been able to hold their composure pretty well. So I think they know how good they are and what they're capable of, especially after winning.
you
Um,
don't want to overreact.
yeah. So um, it's almost kind of like good in a way that the streak of winning is finally like over, so you can like focus like okay, yeah, this is like how the league actually goes. Like you don't legitimately win every single game that you play. So
You're not going to
um,
go 82-0.
no, you aren't. So
But until you lose,
you never know.
you
Yeah, and
might go 82-0.
if you haven't lost yet, you don't want to like mess with anything. Like you don't want to mess with the lineup or anything. So like once you get a loss, you're all right. We can now like try some new things. So like you don't
Right.
want to go halfway through the season and then be like, all right, we've been doing the same thing and like realize it's not the best
Yeah.
Oh, but
like
sorry,
pace
you
or
went
whatever.
40
Not
games in and you
whimsical.
won all
Yep.
40? Boo-hoo! I
You
don't think
know what
there's
I
much
I
to
mean.
don't
change
think
at that point.
Like you
I
want
don't think he means
some
agreed.
adversity early so that you can make the adjustments you need because you can be winning a lot of games and not be
And
playing
not
your
be
best
playing well.
hockey.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like the
You want to
Bruins
see
have
your faults.
been playing not great teams off the start of the year and like have been squeaking out wins and like
Mm,
again you don't want to switch anything but like there's definitely issues we've had that we
right.
haven't made adjustments to because we're like well we're winning
Yeah.
but like
Yeah.
once we lost to Anaheim we're like all right like we gotta like figure some things out before we
Make some
continue.
lineup changes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's fair. That's smart. Y'all should be GMs. There's a job opening if you're looking. You guys could do
Seems
like
like
the
a lot
trench
of
coat
pressure.
style on each other's shoulders with like the
Yeah, there we go.
make some joint decisions.
I've thought like just like in my head I'm like I would just be such a terrible general manager. Like I absolutely like I know it. Like I would be just terrible. I mean my hockey
I
instincts are so bad. Like obviously I never played the sport. So like
Okay.
I don't have any background knowledge. I'm like yeah, no. I don't think I could ever do like at least as a 20 something year old like maybe if I
Sure.
like got into like the hockey world and like maybe if I was like 50 or 60 maybe eventually I could learn something and be like halfway decent but no I think it would take a
have you
lot of
ever
work.
dreamt of being an NHL team owner?
No,
It'd be
never been.
easier.
Because that's like, first off, I was like, if I win the lottery, I'd want to buy the Bruins. But first off, that's not enough money because that's like, what's the biggest Powerball is what, like 800 million or something?
Maybe, yeah, six
And the
hundred million,
Bruins
seven
are
hundred
probably
million,
like
yeah,
2.5 billion.
at least.
Probably three after seeing what Ottawa sold for. But like, if I
Auto
did
sold for a
ever,
billion, evaluated at $1 billion.
yeah, if I did ever own the Bruins though, I'd be like,
Crazy.
I wouldn't. I'd want to be one of the cool, like there's a couple in the league, but one of the cool owners that buys it for the fandom and not as an investment.
Sure, like
Like,
Michael Andlauer, yeah.
I'm not buying it to
He's
make
into it
money.
for the hockey.
I want to buy this team and be a net zero investment. I don't want to lose money. I don't want to make money. I'm gonna put all the
Yeah,
money
yeah.
into the arena, into the team, and
Yeah,
just like make this
that's what they
team the
all
best
say.
possible and not try to make any money.
Well,
And
you
like just
definitely
like hang
wouldn't.
out, like just like go in the locker room, like stop Bergeron.
You wouldn't have any money left over if you did win the lottery and were able to purchase
Right,
it. Like
right.
you'd have to have enough money to continue
Yeah,
to.
no, if I'm like stupid like Jeff Bezos rich.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Once,
Like if you have
if
a
you had
sustainable
$5 billion,
income.
you'd spend it $2 billion to buy the team, and then the other
Yeah,
$3
I
billion
mean
to run the team.
even yeah, even a million. I think I could be okay living off just a million.
Dollars
Yeah,
and have a hockey team.
No,
I
he's
don't have an
saying.
expensive lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put 4.9 billion into the team and then just have
And then just keep the rest. Keep the 100
That's
million for
100
yourself.
million.
yeah.
I think I can make do with $100 million. Probably. I don't know.
We'll see. I've got a pretty lavish lifestyle. I'd have so many jerseys. Oh my god.
You'd run out of jerseys to get.
Think about
You have to buy a
You would
bigger
have
house.
them all.
I could get like the game worn ones.
Oh
like,
yeah, you could
I-
have all of those.
I'd just be
$100
standing
million.
in the locker room, like
All
put
of
it in the bag.
I'll take.
How much you want for this
all of
one?
them.
You finished with that? You know the game's still going on. I still need that.
I paid your owner for this. That's mine now.
Yeah, you're gonna have to wear Johnson's jersey also. He's got a backup from yesterday
He's got an
that you
extra.
can use. It's like I don't
sweaty
think you
one.
can have two people wearing the same number out there.
Same number, same last name.
Yeah.
Speaking of jerseys, I haven't seen this new Rangers jersey.
Oh,
There's a new
yeah,
Rangers jersey.
I prepped Dean on it, but I didn't tell you because I didn't know if you were gonna be on or not. So yeah, feel free to take a look. But for the uninitiated, the Rangers have had what's believed to be a third jersey leak. They are going to be having a new jersey for the Stadium Series game, but this is alleged to not be that, and instead be a new third jersey because they don't have a third right now. So it's like a dark navy with the Rangers shield logo. So instead of the word mark, it is the actual logo for the Rangers, and I think it has the shoulder patch. I can't remember. And then it has a lot of striping. I guess we'll probably throw up a picture.
It doesn't look like it has the shoulders.
Yeah.
In
so
post, I'll watch it and see.
there's a lot of stripes on the elbow area.
I actually don't mind it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were not big fans. I like it. I think it looks pretty good. I think the Rangers logo doesn't look as bad as the crest as like some people do. Like they're just so used to the word mark. But I think it looked good, especially on that color background.
Yeah, I feel like the color of the blue in the New York and Rangers, like in the logo, it being what appears to be from the pictures I'm looking at, the same color as the color of the jersey. I don't know if I like that.
That's what a lot of teams do, though.
Is it?
Yeah.
I guess.
It kind of reminds me of the I don't know
The
if you
amount
guys
of
know
background, I guess.
the
Like there's a lot of that
Winter
blue.
Classic jersey that they wore.
The New York the Rangers one.
I think it was in 2018.
I also just realized, looking at the New York Rangers logo, the Rangers part looks like it's just not where it should be. It looks like it's too far down to the bottom right. Like it looks like there's a weird amount of space there at the top left.
Right.
But like I don't know
Yeah.
what you do differently, but I've never noticed this 'cause I've never looked at it this closely. But it looks
Right.
wrong.
And I think because of how much blue there is, it
Yeah.
looks like there's a no fill back to the logo, and it's like see through that there's the New York, the blue, the white, and the rest of it is just like, oh, we'll just put this on any color, and they chose blue.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they made the logo darker too. Because normally, like the actual Rangers logo is a lighter blue, isn't it?
I think so.
To match
Maybe
their
that's
normal
throwing me
blue.
off.
So I think they made the logo darker too.
Oh, that
Yeah.
Rangers Winter Classic one looks like the Washington W Eagle too much for me, or
Mm,
W Star too much for me.
it's not as dark as that one, but yeah,
Mm.
I think you're.
Were those
Yeah, I think the normal
red and
logo
white
is the same
stripings?
as the blue on the stripes, like that
Yeah,
lighter
it
blue.
is.
Mhm.
You're
It's kind
right.
of a
Mhm.
weird design choice to go with a navy blue and a normal blue on the same.
Yeah, I guess I would.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
again, it doesn't.
Extra
I don't
blue.
know. I think it works. I'm fine with it.
I'm not like in love with it, but I would definitely like pick it up for a halfway
There's
decent
worse
price.
jerseys.
Yeah. You want everyone else to hate it so you can get it for cheap.
So yeah, as long as I like it.
I really hope this
nobody
thing
else-
bombs.
Yeah. Please put it on sale as soon as possible. So they haven't even officially announced it, like the team hasn't yet. So who
Right.
knows? But I don't think that's the Stadium Series jersey because the tag that was on it said third. And so we'll see what those look like. There's gonna be 4 Stadium Series jerseys because there's 2 different games. They have recently announced what the logo looks like. But I don't really feel like dissecting that because I don't really care about the logo.
That's fair.
What are you guys doing?
Dean's getting rid of my excitement about the game.
Yeah. Okay. Let's
Don't worry, I copied it.
Let's reel it back in here.
We're getting off the rails.
How about some retirements? We got 4.
That's
recent
exciting.
retirements.
We love old guys.
Yeah.
We love guys who don't play hockey anymore. That's what this podcast is about. Non-hockey players. Joe Thornton.
Zach
He was a Bruin.
Cassian, yeah. Joe Thornton.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Tomas Plekanec.
Yep. Plekanec or whatever. And
It's definitely Plekanec, right?
Plekanec,
Is
yeah.
it?
And
think.
And Paul Stastny.
That'll be the next game. Instead of spelling bee, I'm gonna give you a name and you gotta pronounce it right.
I listen to Jack Edwards. He makes sure he pronounces everyone's name right.
Yeah,
I
that's true.
don't think that's what he does.
No, he literally goes.
Is it
the
really?
whole-
He like talks
yeah,
to
he
them.
like yeah, whole.
No,
Especially
that's what I
well,
thought.
Bruins players, obviously, he'll like
Well,
go and
yeah.
ask, and then but like he does make a big deal about that, getting the pronunciations right.
Well, sorry I ripped on Jack Edwards for this one time he didn't do something wrong.
But yeah, anyway, I mean, I know Stasny was looking at maybe doing like a 1 year, like a PTO this year, and he was looking for the right team. And I mean, he didn't want to like force anything. Like he didn't want to play where he didn't want to play. So
Yeah.
On Carolina last year?
Yeah,
that sounds right.
he
Yeah,
played for them
Like-
for a little bit.
he kind of jumped
Yeah.
around. I think every year, like,
After
oh
the
yeah, that's
Blues.
where he is now. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
he,
he had
was
a good-
he was in
good
Winnipeg the
career.
year before that.
Good service
Oh, yeah,
good
he
player
was.
for a long time.
Yeah. Middlesex
Same with
guy.
Thornton.
Right? Well, I'd say Thornton is maybe a little more than serviceable.
Yeah.
I'd say Thornton is a top 6 guy throughout his career. I don't know about
That's
a
great.
Great
first
Boston
line guy,
Bruin.
but like definitely a top 6 guy.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
How many cups?
I think so. Yeah, no
I don't
cups.
think he got a cup.
He was only with San Jose, Toronto,
And Boston.
and Florida.
And
Boston.
Boston.
Yeah, in Boston. Sorry.
Yeah. No.
Oh man, I'm gonna look up his stats.
I don't think just because you're there for a while, you get to make it to the
I mean,
Hall of
he
Fame.
played a lot of games. So
You played-
1,539 points in 1,714 games.
That's pretty damn good.
That's a lot of you
130
were there
goals.
for a while, but like just because you're there for a while, is that the Hall of Fame level?
The Hall of Very Good.
That he's Hall of Very Good. Joe Thornton is Hall of Very
means
Good.
he's
And you
probably
have
good.
to remember that they never pick the best choices for
Well,
the classes
right.
every year.
Right. Do I think he's gonna make it? Yes. Should he be?
Oh.
In my opinion, I
He
think
also
no.
won a Hart Trophy and an Art Ross.
One Hart Ross in 1,700 games.
It was the same year, 2005, 2006.
How many seasons did he play?
It's hard to win
22?
those,
He
Owen.
was drafted in 97.
I know.
He's
I've never
played
won
as
any
many
of them.
games as we've been alive.
Oh, jeez, yeah, years, Jesus,
Years.
because he retired. Yeah, oh my
He's
God.
the
So
only
he's played
player in
25
history
seasons.
to win the awards in a season in which he was traded.
From Boston to San Jose.
Yeah.
And well, this article was written before he retired, but it says his most impressive stat is he's the only active player to accumulate more than 90 assists in one season, which he's done twice during his career.
Hall of
And
very
so,
good.
why he's a Hall of Famer? The San Jose Sharks' most famous player would qualify for the Hall of Fame based on his career value, 25th all-time in assists.
I guess, okay, now that I'm thinking about it in the terms of small market team, it feels comparable to Daniel Alfredson, who I 100% believe should be in the Hall. So I'll give it to Thornton.
There you go. You
I'm
converted me.
convinced. The small market, because he wasn't really, I guess my entire thought of him is him as a Shark.
And this was in 2014, so this doesn't.
He played for another half decade at
he's
least.
probably higher than 25th in assists.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, okay. Hall of really very good.
There you go. Stastny is another former Golden Knight to retire. We haven't had too many of those yet.
Oh yeah, not many. At least not, I guess, in that capacity. I'm sure there's people that played for you that won't play another hockey game in their life.
Yeah,
right?
an official retirement.
But yeah,
sort of
somebody
thing,
who
had
has
a prominent
played
role.
more than 100 games or whatever, right?
So, Joe Thornton ended 7th in the league for assists, career assists.
Okay.
Behind Gretzky, Ron Francis, Messier, Ray Bourque, Jaromir Jagr, Paul Coffey, and then Joe Thornton.
Like, those guys are not that good. who even is Ron Francis?
He's in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I say he makes it.
Francis?
Well, I was saying Joe Thornton will get in.
Oh yeah, Joe. Yeah. Jumbo Joe, sure.
Paul Stastny probably not.
Let's get Jumbo.
Paul Stastny probably not. Jumbo Joe? Yeah.
I'll replace Owen with Jumbo.
He retired. He's got nothing else to do.
I do know
he's retired.
somebody who works for the Orlando Solar Bears organization as an equipment manager, I think. He is married to somebody who I worked with for 1 year. So I can try and reach out to that person 1 year in high school. So I can try and reach out to that person and see if their husband wants to come on the show as an Orlando Solar Bears equipment manager.
Well, I was telling Brendan, I have a friend who would hang out with like Marley Quince and
yeah.
a couple other Clarkson guys. So
I could try and text Nico Sturm. I don't have his number. I mean, I guess I could hit him up on Instagram and be like, "Yo,
you could try.
Yo, Nico, what's up? You want to come on a podcast, talk about hockey? I mean, but what? We get 30 minutes out of him? That would still be sick."
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I ever told you that. I think I must have told you that Fish matched with Lauren Gable on Tinder once.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
Go Fish. She's was one of the first Clarkson people off the board, I want to say, for that.
She's very good at hockey.
Very good. She was the MVP for the Pride, right?
I don't know.
Okay.
Sorry.
I know that the Boston team is looking very good, is what I've heard.
The Pride won the Isabel Cup, which was the last women's hockey league cup, and Lauren Gable, who was a Clarkson alumni, all played on that team and was very good, and I think was the best, but who knows?
Sounds right.
Oh, did you guys hear Matthews signed with Prime Energy or like? Prime
I did see that. Yeah.
Wait, Prime Energy, the what's his name?
Logan Paul and KSI.
KSI, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So
I guess
because
seems more like a Mitch
BioSteel
Marner thing to do, but whatever.
Well, BioSteel went under, right, and defaulted on all their debts, and I imagine Austin Matthews is thinking, well, I'll take that revenue stream back.
Wait, BioSteel went under?
Yeah, they're
Did you not see that? Oh yeah, they went under.
They
I feel like
owe
they
the
spent
league
too much on
probably a lot of money.
marketing.
They owe the league a ton of money.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Because they like popped up out of nowhere. Like all of a sudden, everyone was drinking out of BioSteel. Like, everything was BioSteel. Like what the heck?
The BioSteel camp. Connor Bedard was a BioSteel athlete, and Connor McDavid was a BioSteel athlete.
I never saw the product ever. Like, I never happened to see anyone drinking it outside of the NHL.
I think it was a Canadian thing. I think it was a distinctively Canadian sports drink.
I didn't see it in stores.
Right.
That could be why.
And then just they absolutely, I think, bigger than they could afford, and just poof.
Bang Energy went bankrupt too.
Yep.
Oh, did it? I didn't know that.
Tough times for beverage companies, I guess.
But I think they ended up getting bought out, so they'll still exist in like a shell state, right? They're just like part of PepsiCo or whatever now.
All right, let's just jump into the game, I guess. I don't think
I
we
thought
need
we
to
weren't
talk
doing the
about that yet.
game.
What?
I thought we weren't doing the game this week.
I
Oh,
don't
we're
know.
doing the game. This just in. We got a game for you.
It's
Wait, but do we want to tell the world that Gagne signed a contract?
Sam Gagne. Sam?
all right.
Is
We
that his
just
name?
did. Gagne,
Sam Gagne.
who was
Sam
on a
Gagne.
PTO, also along with Heinen, does sign for league minimum with Edmonton. So good for them, I guess. They probably had some injuries, and they were like, "Yeah, you've been here before, so
It is Sam.
sure." Yes, it is.
Wait, but there's also Simone Gagne, but he's the older Gagne.
Yeah. Probably is dead.
Well, he was born in '98 or drafted in '98, so maybe born in the
Our
80s.
last thing that I wanted to say of the news and notes and analysis of the league before we get into the fun stuff was that the
It's all
Leafs
fun.
they are not as good as they were last year, and I think they're gonna continue getting worse. And I think Ryan Reeves is a really bad addition, and I think he's maybe a great locker room guy. But I saw some stats, and he has been abysmal. He's played like no ice time, and he's just been caved in for almost every minute he's been on the ice.
Maybe
So
this is the Leafs'
good job, Toronto.
strategy. Instead of being really good in the regular season and then losing in the playoffs, they play just mediocre in the regular season. Save it for the playoffs.
It's work for Tampa.
I hope
Yeah.
they just
They
suck.
won 2 cups as like the 3rd seed.
Yeah.
That is, yeah, I mean, that's pretty sick. But yeah, no,
So-
hopefully Toronto is just bad. Do you guys have any other free agents in your head that you feel like have just like not been good on their new teams?
I don't have
That like
anything.
stuck out, I guess.
I don't have
Matt
anything that sticks
Murray.
out.
Matt
Like-
Murray, also trash.
Well,
Yep.
he's not
Or
even
that
playing.
a trade. Was that even a trade or
That was
free
that was a
agent?
trade, and that was last year, so I wouldn't really
Oh.
count that one.
Good job, Dean.
Oh,
But
well.
also,
I
yeah,
don't know
the
anything
Leafs are
about
bad.
hockey.
Do you even watch hockey?
I feel like there may have
Okay.
been some like defensemen that were not great, but whatever. I don't have anything, so I'm not gonna try to make anything out of nothing.
Yeah, I just wanted to dunk on the Leafs real quick.
Yeah, sure.
I saw that.
Let's jump
Add some
into
extra rain on their parade.
the game, I guess, which I'm calling
What you got for
Faceoff
us?
because it's hockey. So, and
Uh-huh.
it's
I don't get it.
and it's a back and forth. So it's basically I don't know if you guys have seen the show what's it the Chase or whatever. It was like that UK show with
Oh,
like a trivia show. Basically,
I've heard of it, but
and
never seen it.
there's like basically parts of it where two people will go back and forth naming like something that fits into a certain category. Like, oh, name, number one hit singles or something on the Billboard 200 for whatever, and then they like, somebody says one, and then whoever, gets one incorrect or doesn't know one first, like, loses, and the other person wins. So it's basically going to be like that, but with hockey. So I only have one category prepared, but I can whip up some other ones if needed.
Oh,
We'll see how-
we played this on like a bus ride once. I think us and maybe Justin, where we just did it with teams, or like the 2014 Canadian team or whatever, and then you had to name players.
oh yeah.
Yeah, so
But
it's a pretty simple premise, and it's definitely not an original thought that I had, but
right,
We could do like best of 3 different topics.
yeah, because somebody just might not really know one of them, so we don't want to make it too disinteresting. But
right.
so I have
NHL coaches.
no. So this one is not necessarily specific to this season. The one that I have is naming types of penalties.
Oh, I like it.
Oh,
So
but there's a limit.
there's
Yeah, well,
I guess there's always a limit.
yeah.
Okay. So we all go around the horn, or is it just me and Dean?
Well, not me. I
You
have to
got the
verify. I have to verify the
Sure.
one. So since it was my idea. So yeah.
One of us
It was
played
good.
hockey. I've never played that sport.
but all right,
you
the hockey I
watched it.
play they call tripping,
So
high
much.
sticking.
Hey! You're ruining the game. I already know 2 answers now.
Yeah. I don't have like a set
Like, how
timer
specific are we
for
gonna get
how
here?
long
I
you
get
need
it.
to do it.
We'll just
We'll debate semantics when we get around to it.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I think I'm going to
let's-
just.
You can go first.
Let's flip a coin. Anyone got a coin? No?
I thought I was the host here. Why
Yeah,
you
you
guys?
go ahead, Brendan. Tell us what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
thank
how do we
you.
play this game?
Thank you. Oh,
Tell me what penalties are.
So there's no set timer for how long you have to choose. I'm just gonna sort of do it by discretion. Like if I feel like you're not getting anywhere, I'm just gonna call it. So
Okay.
yeah, we'll just start, and I have written down like a handful of them to cross them
Question.
out. Okay, go ahead.
If the penalty has the same name, but there's multiple ways to achieve that penalty, is that two different answers or one answer? And what about majors and minors?
You mean like tripping somebody with your foot or your stick? That's a
No.
trip.
Well, whatever. We'll see. I'll wait until I'm out of other ones and see if it counts.
Yeah, I think
We'll
there'll
just-
be
we'll-
a lot of easier ones to start with.
Yeah, we'll just go, and I'll just.
I think
Once I run out of them, I'll test my luck with other ones.
okay. I have the official rule book up, so I might need to refer to it if you think of something really weird.
Okay.
But I think I have all the most notable ones
Okay.
on hand. So, well, yeah, let's start
Ready.
with Dean.
Tripping.
Tripping.
Aw, that's one of the two I knew. Okay.
I actually didn't write that one down for some reason.
I'll take the other one off the board.
Wait. I need to write. Can I write down these as I go so I don't repeat? Or is that cheating?
That's
Is
cheating.
that Brendan's job? That's
Oh.
Brendan's job, right?
You have,
Or no, we have to remember.
Part of
Wait,
the
that's
game is
cheating?
you
Wait,
have
I
to
thought-
remember.
I thought part of the game is to know how many penalties you know.
Mm-mm.
Oh.
Okay, well let's go fast so we can
Oh, I
remember
don't-
what we said.
I
High
don't know.
sticking.
Okay. Splashing.
Okay, boarding.
Roughing.
Okay. What is it? Hooking.
Delay of game, puck over the glass.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna
okay.
count delay a game as a blanket.
Sure.
Okay.
Is that what the question you had before, Dean? Delay game in different fashions?
Yes. That was
Yeah,
one
okay.
part of it.
Yeah, so because there's a bench minor for delay a game, and then there's
Yeah.
regular minor. I'm just gonna all encompassing. Proceed.
Fighting. Right? Penalty, yeah.
Yeah.
Hitting from behind.
Let me check the rule book here. I don't have that one immediately listed, but I'm pretty sure you're fine. But I wanted to double check.
Yeah. Normally they'll call it that or boarding, depending how close to the boards it is. But you can hit from behind in open ice, and that's a penalty.
Mm. How many more you got in your head, Dean?
I have a lot that I was saving for the end. Like the
Me
really obscure
too.
ones.
I got so many I'm saving.
I'm actually not seeing hitting from behind, but it's probably on here.
Let's just keep going.
What?
and then
No,
we
we
can-
had the rule book.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
Okay. Charging? I don't think we've said that one.
Yeah, charging.
we have
Okay,
not.
okay,
Interference.
Oh shit.
Yep.
I didn't think of that one. Okay. Instigator?
That's one of my. That one of the ones I had. Yeah, because you can
That's
get
a penalty.
You get a 2-5-10 because you get the
Right,
minor,
right.
the fighting, and the instigator. Illegal touching of the puck in the zone by the goalie.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Is that what the name of it is?
I'm pretty sure. Well, that's what it is in football, like where you
Oh,
step out of bounds. I think it is. I think
Yeah.
it is illegal touching.
Touching out the trapezoid. Sure.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
That's
I
fine,
just
I'll
thought of
count
it.
that.
Oh, too many men.
Too many men.
Then
Yep,
that was
that's
not
good.
one in my head.
It just
I'm gonna
came.
count this as a different one and not grouped together. Goaltender interference.
Okay.
Yep, those are
Sure.
separate.
Sure. Yeah. I like that.
I figured Owen would say that one as soon as you said interference, so.
Didn't even think of it.
And I never will.
Right. It's gone. Not one of the things that my brain's allowed to think. I would imagine it's a penalty. Playing without your helmet / the proper equipment, because like you have to get off the ice immediately. So if you don't,
that
is that a
that
penalty?
is one.
Illegal use of equipment. You're
Yeah.
talking about? Or...
Oh,
It would
wait,
be the
so-
same as a broken stick, right?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that if I could say the broken stick next, but that's the same. Playing with a broken stick or without your helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll accept that.
Okay. Skating the puck over center ice as the goalie.
Ugh.
I kind of want to know what some of these actual names are, but I'll just let you. Oh, participating in the play beyond the center of red line.
As the
Center
goalie?
red line, yeah. So that one's
Interesting.
on there. Rule 27.
Rule 27. Okay. Oh shit! It was just in my head. What was I gonna say?
I had that last time, and I had to move to a different one because I forgot.
Right. Right. But
But
it's the
happen
last
again.
one that's in my head. What were we talking about beforehand? There was that one that I was thinking about. Oh shit!
5 seconds.
Maybe it's gone. I know.
5, 4. I'm waiting even longer. 3.
I don't got it. It slipped out. It slipped
Nothing?
out. It slipped. I don't know. I can't think.
Goal. Okay,
It's
keep going.
over.
I have, like,
It's
one or
over.
two more.
I can't think. You
He
got
taps.
only one or two more, Dean?
One or two more, yeah.
Let's hear 'em.
Holding the stick.
Yeah, holding the stick.
Oh my god! The thing I was gonna say is throwing the stick, like throwing your stick at somebody.
Yeah.
Throwing stick. Rule 53.
Fuck! I just couldn't think of it in time.
Did we say unsportsmanlike conduct?
Oh no, we didn't.
And then I also couldn't remember if we said high sticking. Because I know we said
That was the
slashing.
second one I
That
said.
was the
Okay.
first one I
But
said.
I was like, I think it got said. And then the other
No,
thing.
we never
is,
said slashing. I don't think, did we?
Yeah. I got slashing crossed.
The other thing I wasn't sure I was gonna wait until I ran out is a double minor of slashing.
Oh
Or a
yeah,
double minor
making
of high
somebody
sticking.
bleed.
Yes, making someone bleed.
I would not have accepted that.
Okay.
of drawing blood as a penalty.
Yeah, I think that's basically all I have.
I mean, unless there's some like bench stuff, right? Like the coach flip it out and
Because
get a penalty.
we did all the stick infractions, hooking.
And incorrect challenge without a timeout.
Yeah, that's true.
Or no, incorrect challenge.
That's just a delay a game.
Okay.
So, and I really don't know if there actually is anything for hitting from behind as I'm looking through.
Oh, well then maybe Owen could get the dub.
Under review, do I get the win?
Yeah, I'm really trying to find something for it. Oh.
But it feels like you can't just like.
Oh, here it is. So it's called checking. It's called checking from behind. Yeah. Because I was searching.
I was pretty confident in that one.
Yeah,
he didn't say elbowing either.
Oh
No.
yeah.
So yeah, I was gonna.
Or illegal check to the head.
Yep, illegal check to the head. I was just gonna give you some of the ones that I think.
Spearing.
Spearing.
That's what I was thinking of. Like, what's it called?
Yeah, not hitting.
But then slew footing. That's not a penalty. Like that's just unsportsmanlike, right? Is that not its own penalty?
Yeah.
I think slew footing is unsportsmanlike.
Or roughing, like
I haven't
there's things
seen
like that where
slew footing
I think they're under a different one.
You guys.
Roughing. I said roughing. Roughing
I said
counts.
roughing, but I don't know. Like slew footing's not its own penalty. Is what I'm saying. Like there's things like that.
I don't believe so. Oh yes, it is.
Huh.
It's a match penalty.
Slew footing.
Mm.
Yeah, it should be.
Makes
Rule
sense.
52.
Okay.
Don't take people's feet out from under them.
Yeah. So, I got some that you probably. So you guys said holding the stick, but I don't think anybody said holding, which is probably one of the bigger penalties.
Yeah.
Whoops. Closing hand on the puck or concealing the puck with your hand.
I was thinking that, but I thought that was just a face-off.
No, it is.
I didn't know that was a penalty.
Well, it is in.
It depends on the situation.
Oh, if you're doing inside the crease versus outside.
Well, in the crease, it might even be an awarded goal or something crazy like that. Or like a penalty shot. I don't know.
Sure.
There's cross-checking.
Yeah.
Elbowing and kneeing also. You did say illegal check to the head. Broken stick.
Kneeing.
Clipping, which I don't know if
Clipping.
I've heard that one.
Oh, is that knee to knee?
No, that's.
Is that what they call that?
I think that's kneeing.
As kneeing?
Maybe.
Well, also, knee to knee normally it's called tripping.
Yeah,
like if you stick out your leg.
Well, I have. I have the rule book. I could look at it, but I'll check some other ones. Butt ending is a major penalty. Yeah. Actually, it can be a minor also.
Is that hitting him with the wrong end of your stick?
Yeah. Head butting. Let's see.
Licking.
Not yet.
Is it?
What
about kissing?
Kicking a player, punching and injuring an unsuspecting opponent, throwing stick or any object,
I said throwing stick.
Wearing tape on hands in altercation. That would be an interesting.
Oh, you can't tape up your hands under your gloves
Wait, but people definitely tape their
Depending on-
hands in a fight. Like if you like tape your fingers or whatever. Like you probably like to an extent. Like you can't like
Right.
tape your whole
Yeah.
fist into.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because then your hands just weigh more, right? You're just able
You
to
can't
punch
foil
harder.
up like in Slapshot.
I'm sure the
Yeah.
description is more
Oh, I
in
love.
depth than just the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I hit on pretty much all the big ones that you guys
That
didn't
was a
miss
good category.
two. You guys
That
didn't
was a
miss
good
too
category.
We
many.
also both did pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised how long I hung around there, and then disappointed that I had thought of one and then
We did miss a couple
stopped
obvious
thinking about
ones.
it. Yeah, there was definitely some.
Well, because once we
And
got past the first few, I started thinking towards the long term. Like
right,
I was
what
saving the
obscure
ones
ones
that
have we
like
not
I'm
said?
like this one hopefully doesn't come to Owen's mind. I'm gonna save it for the end.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You want to get the most obvious ones out of the way first, because then if you have backups, it's like,
Oh,
yeah, if I don't have to
what
use
is
them, I
it
won't.
called in when you play out of the trapezoid as the goalie? Like you touch the puck.
Oh, I didn't. Let me see. So clipping is I believe what you were mentioning, by the way. Clipping is the act of throwing the body across or below the knees of an opponent from any direction.
Okay, yeah, let's call that tripping.
Yeah.
Right.
Let me see. So I'm trying to find the one that you were talking about, the playing it outside of the trapezoid.
Yeah. The pie slice.
Let's see. Leaving the crease? No. Throwing puck towards opponent's goalkeeper. Let me see if I can find that one. It's probably a stranger name.
Like illegal touching.
Yeah. Well, I guess, yeah, I didn't even look for that.
Illegal touching.
Legal interferes with a game official in the performance of their duties. Oh.
Not duty performance.
So it's NFL is what it's called. When it's called illegal touching is what it's called in the NFL.
Right, when you leave the playing surface
When
and then
the
re-enter
receiver
it.
touched the ball illegally, usually because
Yeah.
he stepped out of bounds.
Right. Trying to think of what.
I think it's like a
be
really
another
convoluted long
category.
name, like playing the puck outside of the crease in the unauthorized area, or like
Right.
Yeah.
With a goalie paddle stick.
Oh, summary of goalkeeper penalties. Here we go. Playing puck in restricted area.
yeah, restricted area.
So, yeah. That's definitely it. Piling snow or other obstacles. Flurry's been caught with that one a couple of times. Yeah.
Dean gets point number 1.
I thought
Good
you
job,
only had
Dean.
one category.
Yeah, I mean, I might be
Oh.
able to whip up.
Good job on the win, Dean.
game.
Oh, I did have
You
a
did it.
backup. I do have one, and this one is also finite, but I think this one
Okay.
will go pretty quick.
Teams.
Yeah, not teams, but it does have to do with teams.
I know I forget one.
One of us would mess up at some point.
I'm gonna do. You have to name an active player on this team's roster.
Oh boy.
And it's a team in your division, so it's not. You guys should be relatively familiar, but it's not either of your teams, so one of you has
Interesting.
an advantage. So I'm gonna.
I was thinking you were gonna spin a random and do a random team each time.
I could
Also
do
could
I'm
that.
so bad at
for the
rosters
future.
these days. Like, I think I mentioned since not playing NHL, I used to be like really good, but now I don't. Like, I don't know who's
Yeah.
on any team
Since
other
watching
than
you
the
play
Bruins.
NHL.
I know the Bruins all the way down to like halfway through the AHL.
Right.
Yeah.
So this one, I think you guys should both have a pretty good understanding. I'm gonna go with Toronto.
Oh,
Because they're in the
I was thinking you're gonna go Buffalo or Montreal.
thinking
Okay,
Tampa.
Toronto.
they're in
Anyway.
the spotlight a lot. So
Anyway,
let's start with
Toronto.
Owen. Let's start with Owen this time.
okay.
Now,
Joseph Wall.
I don't know why you'd waste that one, but sure.
Austin Matthews.
There we go.
Who's that guy? Oh man. Yeah, Ilya Samsonov.
Okay, the goalies. Sure.
Mitch Marner.
Also acceptable.
Okay. Morgan Riley.
William Nylander.
Okay.
Doing good.
The guy I talked about earlier, Ryan
he was
Reeves.
gonna be my next one.
Hmm.
Matt Murray.
Is he on the roster? I think he's on LTIR.
He. I was gonna do it where they had to have played at least one game this year, but
You didn't even mention that.
I didn't mention
He didn't.
it.
He didn't
so
mention that.
I won't.
But I don't know if
penalize you.
LTIR counts as. I think Dean has to provide another answer. I don't think he loses, but I don't think that answer should stand. You get a second chance. LTIR. I could have said Matt Murray. I said the goalies already.
Brendan.
I'm gonna concur with Owen actually.
Haha. Okay. Another Leaf. Oh shit! That might be a Leaf I know.
Is Jake Gardner still on the Leafs?
I'm sorry.
No.
That didn't last. I don't know how many more Leafs I know.
There's one big one that you guys haven't said yet.
Travis Dermott.
Tavares.
Travis Dermott is not on the Maple
Leaves?
He's
well,
on
shit.
the
I was
Prairies.
going to be out.
Remember?
Oh, right. Yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah, because he had the Pride tape. That's why I was
Who
thinking
did
of
you
him.
say, Dean?
On Tavares?
Yeah, that's the
Tavares.
one. The
No.
captain.
Yeah.
Do they still have Liljegren?
Yeah, they do.
I could have said Liljegren. Well, I
Well,
guess I
got
technically would
rattled
know
after
one.
my Murray one didn't get taken because that's when I start thinking about the next one. And
Right.
I'm still on the spot.
You gotta be ready for wrenches to be thrown into your plan.
So it's 1-1.
You guys.
Do you want to do randomized through the league?
You guys got
and
most
pick?
of the big ones. Yeah, I guess we have to do a tiebreaker, even though it's getting.
I think the
longer
tiebreaker
and
should be a
longer.
different category. But I don't know what else.
Well, I guess I could.
We could do.
What's the consensus?
I'm trying to think. Oh, I'm probably gonna lose a different team, another team one. So.
Oh.
Right, but if
okay.
it's a random team each time, like Brendan says, like
Yeah.
he rolls a random for each of us, right? You have a shark that you have to say, and then I
I
have
don't know.
to say.
I thought the.
That's even worse.
I don't know. I feel like we both have
Yeah.
less knowledge about teams. Like that one didn't last as
Yeah.
long as the penalty one. But I'm trying to think of another
No.
one, like a different category that would be
How
fun.
about NHL arena names?
Oh God.
What? I have maybe 4.
That one in Ottawa.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, come on.
okay.
You should be able to name all the ones you went to. Okay. Yeah. No. Now I do want to do this one. Let's do it. Yeah. Brendan obviously.
I brought it
he's
up,
far too
so
good at
I'm
this.
clearly
Yeah.
interested.
I'm in.
Sorry, Dean.
Two out of 3 votes
we're gonna
counts.
go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I got very few in my head. Let's go.
I will say,
Let's
though,
hear it.
before we begin, if you don't get the current name, like for example, the Staples Center is no longer the name of the arena that the
Right.
Kings play in. So
Right.
if you said that, I would disqualify you and you would lose.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Well,
you have to
That's a full on lose, not just like you get a chance to say
that's
the
a
right
full
name.
on lose. You gotta know it.
Okay.
Okay. Oh
The
fuck. Oh,
Boston Garden.
that's wrong. That's not what it's called.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
Oh.
He's joking.
I thought you
I
were
was
just
like,
throwing it at the first. I was like, it's TD
I don't know
Garden.
who's-
It's TD Garden.
I don't even know who's starting.
That's fair.
They haven't been called the Boston Garden since before I was born.
Right. That's I was like, how did he fuck this up?
Yeah.
I guess
Owen won, so you can go first, or do I get to go first because he won, so he has to go second, like golf
Yeah.
rules?
let's go with that.
Okay, TD Garden.
Damn.
Good choice.
UBS Arena.
That is correct.
Do you know who
Scotiabank
plays their team?
Arena.
Islanders. Scotiabank.
Canadian
Oh,
Tire Center.
that is correct.
Are they not Scotiabank anymore? They got to still be Scotiabank,
No, that is
right?
correct.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
You scared me. What did you say, Owen?
Canadian Tire.
Canadian Tire. Yes.
Climate Pledge Arena.
Climate Pledge
Yep,
Arena.
yep.
Seattle.
Mullet Arena.
We'll count that, yeah.
I think it's
That's
still
where they play.
this still PPG Paint.
That's
Arena.
what I didn't know if it was still that.
I
Pittsburgh, is that
I
still
believe
PPG
it-
Paints?
I believe it is still called PPG Paints.
I was nervous on that one.
Wait, I had another one that's gone. It just disappeared. I hate when this happens. Oh crap.
I remember one. It's back to me, right? Are we
Yeah.
confirmed on PPG?
There's probably other ones that you've been to that you haven't named yet.
Oh,
Capital One Arena.
Oh, I thought it was Dean's go, so I was
Oh, he
waiting.
said
No.
PPG.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then Capital One, which is Washington.
Capital One, Capitals, yep.
Little Caesars Arena.
Pizza.
Yep. Amalie Arena for the Lightning? Is it still called Amalie?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Wells Fargo. I don't know if it's center or arena. Does that matter? Is that part of the?
That's acceptable.
Okay.
Is it center?
It is center.
Okay.
I guess. No.
The Saddle Dome.
Ooh.
Saddle Dome. Yep.
Calgary.
It's technically called the Scotiabank Saddle Dome, but I'm gonna give it to you.
Appreciate it.
That's the only one I was kind of like because Scotiabank Arena and Scotiabank Saddle Dome, but
Yeah.
This is Jack Edwards' favorite. I'm gonna say it how he says it. The Crypto.com Arena.
Doesn't sound like a hockey building. Crypto, like, it sounds like a haunted house. Crypto.com Arena.
What do you expect? Crypto.com Arena.
so that's
Is that the
Staples Center,
LA
yeah.
one?
Yeah.
Crypto.
T-Mobile.
T-Mobile Arena.
We were there.
Shoutouts.
I don't know. The one I had disappeared from me, and I can't find it again.
I think I have Vancouver. I think I got Vancouver locked in.
Oh boy.
And I think I know Minnesota.
I was trying to think.
And I
Minnesota.
definitely know Chicago.
Yep, Chicago. Dean.
I'm not even going to say it because you would know it immediately. There's another one, which is going to be the next one we do because it's too obvious.
Oh,
Come on,
I'm pretty sure I know which one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like teams we haven't done yet.
Think about the most famous arena in the world.
Famous arena. No. Oh, Bell Center. Thanks.
No, but okay.
Madison Square Garden.
Oh. Bell Center was the one that I had and I lost.
That's kind of what I figured.
Well,
yeah.
I think Bell Center is the most famous NHL arena. It's the hockey players'
Dedicated
arena.
NHL arena.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that's
Sure.
fair.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
MSG is definitely a more famous thing. Yeah. So back to you.
Oh, Ball Arena.
Ball Arena.
There
Good
you
one.
go.
Vancouver's Rogers Arena.
Rogers Place.
Yeah.
Rogers Place. Rogers Center.
It is
Rogers.
called Rogers Arena, so
Arena.
that's acceptable. Yep.
Mhm.
Nice. Oh.
Oh,
Yeah. That
I
other
had
one.
a second win there for a bit.
What
I can probably come up with more. It's just I'm trying to think of.
is that one called? I don't remember Dallas. I definitely know Chicago though, and I think I know Minnesota.
Um,
Oh, and I think I know Buffalo, which I don't think we've said.
Not yet.
do the Islanders play in Barclays?
No, they moved to UBS. That
It's
was the second one. That was the
Okay.
first one I said.
In a victory lap with as many as you can name.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
United Center in Chicago.
Yep.
The KeyBank Center in Buffalo.
Buffalo.
XL Energy
That's
in
Minnesota. Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't Dallas American Airlines or
Yeah,
something?
it is. American Airlines Center.
I was trying to think of Florida. They're in the town of Sunrise, but that's not the arena name?
Yeah.
I can't think of the arena name for Florida.
So it was called FLA Live Arena for a while, and they just very recently changed it. It's Amaranth Bank Arena now.
I wouldn't have gotten
so
that.
that was
And
a
Nashville,
fail.
I can't
I
remember
wouldn't
either.
remember that one either. Nashville is Bridgestone.
Oh.
So
The Sharks, I don't know.
Edmonton is Rogers Place. So there's Rogers Arena is Vancouver, and Rogers Place is Edmonton. So
And Rogers Place.
would have given
Okay.
it to you for.
And then Sharks and Anaheim. I don't know
Sharks
either
is,
of those.
SAP Center,
Oh yeah.
and
SAP
Anaheim
Center.
is Honda Center.
Honda.
Which other arenas didn't we say?
Yeah, so
Like,
you
give us a-
haven't said Winnipeg.
Oh,
yet.
Raleigh. Or Winnipeg.
Raleigh. Do you guys know that one?
It'll probably come to me. I've been there.
It's an acronym, right?
Yeah, it is an acronym.
Maybe I don't know it.
What about so
I can't think of
Nashville
it.
is Bridgestone.
Bridgestone, yeah.
I have no
St.
idea.
Louis, Enterprise.
St. Louis
St. Louis
is
is Enterprise?
Enterprise. Yep, they pick you
Okay.
up.
They
Man, this
pick you
just
up.
shows that like some sponsorship does get ingrained in us.
Yeah,
Right.
I feel like the announcer will be like, coming you live from Bridgestone
Yeah,
Arena.
Yep.
And
They
especially in Chell when they do that intro to the game,
Yeah.
right?
Like I guess I knew more than I thought.
New Jersey.
I can't think
you
of.
haven't said yet.
Oh, Prudential
That's
Center.
Prudential Center. So
Mhm.
Carolina is PNC
Carolina
PNC. I
PNC
was gonna
Arena.
say PLC.
Arena.
Oh,
That's an
Uh,
engineering thing.
one
Programmable logic controller.
And
oh,
I
it's a
think
teacher thing, a professional learning course.
Oh wow.
I think Winnipeg is the last one, which is Canada Life Center.
I don't think
That
I
one
would've
used to
done
be that one used to be Bell's.
Oh, Columbus,
MTS.
nationwide.
Oh yeah, Columbus is nationwide. I think that's the last one because I think you guys got.
Philly.
No,
Chicago?
that's
Did we
Wells
mention
Fargo.
Chicago?
Chicago's United. Philly is.
Oh.
Oh, we did say Wells Fargo.
So I think
Um,
you hit everybody. I got my map up with all the
Yeah, right.
arenas. So I think that was everyone.
Nice. Yeah,
So,
I guess in
honestly, you guys
hindsight,
did
I could probably do 50%.
You guys
Yeah.
did pretty damn good, honestly.
That was a hard one, though.
I was
Yay,
impressed. Yeah.
us.
So,
But I think significantly easier than like name GMs or coaches
yeah, definitely.
or owners.
So we can definitely do that in other times
with different categories.
Another host.
Yeah, I do think those are more fun than just doing a team.
Mm-hmm. But I think one of the team ones is good to throw in there too. You know, it's a good option.
Throw it in there every once in a while. Yeah.
Sick. Well, I think that was another amazing episode of the Bread Loves Hockey podcast.
Yeah, that one might be our longest one yet, and we keep making them longer, which we probably shouldn't be doing, but whatever. So.
Well, I told you we didn't need to do the game.
Yeah, I know. But it was fun.
We're here for the real fans. People stay until the end.
Thanks for tuning in. We're gonna do a quick cut here, and have a good night, everybody.
Love you.
Bye.
We should have one ad an hour and 36 minutes into every episode. So people are they're like, oh, fuck, okay, sure.